There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to start with the clacker like we always do. Good. That'll help me do my sound later on. Thanks for everybody who's joining us, watching us later on YouTube videos or other places. Kick, Twitter. We're even on Twitter. Did you know that? We actually are live streaming on Twitter right now. We multi-stream all 4 places at the same time. And we're going to catch up real quick on what's been happening in the game. But first, we're going to do introductions. My name's Dave Wildson. I am the game master for the Wylders game. Our website and our channels are all called Wildermage because that's a place that's in Era, the world of the Wylders game. We're going to go around clockwise. To my left is, hold on, I'm going to actually hand over some controls, some driving controls here. Rob, you take those so you guys can help drive. To my left is Raven, and take it away.
Hi, I'm Glenn the Valley. I play Raven Alexium, and I'll be your wizard for this evening. Next.
That's good.
Oh, that's me. I am I'm Amanda, and I play Josephine Smith. I've got the big pew-pews. I also drive a mean whip, and I am the chat master, so don't F with the chat, or else you're gonna get F'd.
And there you have that. Hello, everybody. My name is Janice Schultz Wilson. I play the part of Lavinia Rose, who is a fortune teller, a healer, and not very fond of the undead.
But is able to control them. So that's pretty good. I'm Rob Woodbury, and I play Percival Redfeather, and I am a wandering itinerant traveler with bow and arrow skills, and I change mystically into a tiger when confronted with unforeseen consequences. So that's a very exciting thing.
The curse of the weird tiger.
Curse of the weird tiger. So and I'm really enjoying that. All right.
How do you do? I'm Ian Little, and I am playing the part of Thaddeus Poindexter, a trained medical professional, traveling medical man, as it were.
And
Oh,
it
there's
has
no.
a secret
I am
identity.
such a straightforward person.
That's right. We'll never. You'll
I am
find
so
out.
very straightforward.
You'll find out.
There is nothing unusual about me.
The truth is, in real play, don't you think that Ian is probably the kindest rogue you've ever seen in your life?
Absolutely. No,
He's like, I think that what you need to do while you're helping people out is pickpocket them a little bit more. And to that end, I'm going to talk about some stuff. The first half hour of this game, I apologize to our viewers. The first half hour of this game is going to be kind of technical things. We use the Foundry system online to handle our maps, our character sheets, and things like that electronically. I'll use laptops and have our character sheets on laptops so that we can see each other's and we can trade inventory without it being lost and all of these other kinds of things. And also, I got tired of paying millions of dollars to print maps. So now I use ones on a screen. We are going to cover some fancy new updates in Foundry. Other things. Oh, here, somebody passed me some controls for a minute. We lost the chat. If you will look at the screen, you will notice, here, let me go back to me, Dave. There's chat under me on the screen.
Ooh.
Check it out. There's chat under me on the screen. Now, this is still in the process of being fixed up and changed, but at least it gives us a little bit of chat so that everybody can see everybody else in chat. Here's our issue.
The Twitch chat, that one?
We are multi-streaming, and so because we are multi-streaming and going out to YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Kick, anybody on any of those platforms that's watching us can chat. But the other people on the other platforms cannot see it unless they watch our multi-stream chat that we now have on the screen. So that's how you can tell. And you can tell because of the little icons that'll always be in front of it if somebody's chatting on a different system. Okay, going back to our other things. And you'll notice, by the way, speaking of this, we now have upgrades. Check out me and the adventure screen. It now, oh, here, we'll put it over onto a nice looking picture. Me and the adventure
And
screen.
Sugarberries says hi to everyone, and Rose says nice eyes, everyone.
This is me and the adventure screen. Notice how it's split differently than it used to be. This is me and Raven. Notice how it's split differently than it used to be. This way, if you move side to side, you're not out of camera the way we used to have problems with that. Same with Josephine. Same with Lavinia. Same with Percy. It's just a little bit better look. So that's the plan. All right, I'll give these back to you here. I'll go back to me while I talk. And why did it do that again? Sometimes it's going to start. There's some kind of bug in the system that's turning chat off whenever it's on me.
Did Foundry have an update? Because now I'm seeing a dice so nice, your 3D dice, and it's giving me all these alerts.
So we're going to go to the adventure screen and we're going to look at my Foundry very quickly. And I'm going to, and you can turn off my head for this, please, so that I'm out of the screen. I'm going to explain what's going on here. In the game of Foundry, and I see that our right side of my screen's cut off a little bit, so you'll just have to bear with me. But there are game settings on the right side here. If we go down to a thing called modules, Foundry is a bare bones system that you have to install all kinds of other modules on to get the things to work the way you want them to. For example, you want macros at the bottom, you got to go find macros sometimes in a macro module. You want monsters, you have to either make them from scratch or import them from a module. Here are the number of modules that we currently have installed on this game. Okay.
There we go.
PF2E is the game system we use, Pathfinder 2E. But look at all the stuff that we got to have just to fix all the little things that we want fixed. Wow. All right. One of those new modules is called Simple Quest. If you press your J button, boop, you will see a thing come up called Simple Quest. Did that work for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. You can also find Simple Quest if you go up to the journal in the top left corner, top right corner, I guess you're right. You'll see that there's also a Simple Quest button there, just in the top right corner when you've got the journal open. But hotkey is J for journal, Simple Quest. Simple Quest is going to be what we start to put all our quests in. It's got some tabs across the top. If you click quests, it'll show you that the Bounty of St. Iago, your primary main quest for the entire campaign, is in here, and I haven't put any of the other side quests in yet. Okay? But it's all got all of the description of when you encountered R1 and got that main quest when you were at the Anasi Fortress. Questions?
I'm not finding any of this. Also, our chat just shut down and Sugar got kicked out.
Whoa. Wonder what happened there.
I don't know. But so that's what I was looking at, and I missed the tutorial, and I'm not finding it in any of my
Just press the chat button.
settings.
Did it turn back on? Oh, it's working again. You want to start recording? Oh, yeah. Start recording. I forgot to start recording. Double tap recording. I mean, I can always download the Twitch stream anyways to pick up what I missed. So I'll do that too, but we should record it ourselves.
You did nothing wrong, guaranteed.
Double tap
Okay,
to start recording.
it's just
you
it's
go.
probably just the auto chat bot. Sorry.
Look at me. There's lots of me now. There's many of me on the adventure screen.
It's a Dave Inception.
That's right. Let's go back to something else more useful. So you cannot find Simple Quest, Amanda?
Where would it be?
Press J.
Oh, it's right there. Simple Quest.
Yeah, or press the J button. So, also important in Simple Quest is you see it says Quest's Lore Timeline Map. Do you see where it says that?
Mm-hmm.
Quest Lore Timeline Map? Click the map the way I am now, and you will see we now have an era map. Okay, you can also make this whole thing bigger if you want. You can even make it pop out.
It does not. It does not show the same way to me.
Well, you can operate your own different than mine.
It says, "Welcome to the Maps tab. Right click and drag to pan the map. Scroll left click."
Can nobody else see this map that I'm showing on the screen behind me?
Nope, I just get the same list, Amanda.
Really? Hold on. Abracadabra.
Right click a marker to edit it.
There it is.
Nope.
Shift and left click to hide the map.
Now I have a map, and
I don't.
all I did was push enter.
Shift and right click to reveal the map.
Nope.
Nope. Try escape.
Oh, I knew we were gonna have problems with this stuff.
I have a map now.
I'm just reloading it, and I'll see what happens.
No,
after you
try J and
push
then
the
map
buttons.
again.
It's all kinds of funky.
You can go JJ
Icons.
and see if when you turn it off, turn it on, it brings it to you.
Nope, I get something different.
We will troubleshoot this for each of
Yeah.
you in our off time, but look
So this
on the
one
screen
disappeared.
behind me and you will see what we are talking about.
Should go away. There you go.
Here is the map that's in this thing now. Okay, this is where you're going to have your main map to be able to figure out where stuff is. It's on the screen behind me if you can't see it. And so you right click to drag the map around. Okay,
Mine did come after I refreshed the page.
good. You zoom in, you can zoom in and zoom out, and you will notice that there are a whole bunch of little markers on the map now if you
There's a
zoom
bottle of
in.
Beer. There's a beer flagon.
And where is
What's
the
the
beer
same
flagon? That beer flagon is at Rendezvous. And if you put your mouse over beer flagon, it says Festival Games. You put one over the little blue thing beside it, it says Rendezvous Market.
Mhm.
Here is where you met the flail snail, if we go back in time. Here is where you were at the Puckwudgie Village. Here's where you had real fun with the hag at the Hag's Hovel. Here is where you had the undercore tunnel that you entered through that ruined tower. Here is where you made the sky wagon and you flew across the desert this whole distance. I'm going way back now. We've been playing this game for like 2 years for
Is the
those at
map
home.
that's behind you the same one that's on the screen?
If you scroll in or scroll out or zoom in or zoom out.
Click on map.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is all of these
Yeah,
things.
they're just not the same as the.
Well, no, because he's clicked on the different markers.
I see. Okay.
Your markers are not the same as my markers?
Not
Not on the
that are
screen
on the
behind
screen
you.
behind you.
The screen behind you shows something else. It's just a map with no markers on it.
Really?
Yeah, the one behind you.
Made you look.
Okay, how about if I fix that by actually casting my screen instead of just the tab?
There it is.
Okay,
that's awesome.
it's only a 285 second ban, so that's 4 minutes. You're fine.
Oh, I got kicked out for something?
Yeah. I have no idea what, but she messaged me asking.
There's certain words you can't use. And,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I kicked myself out last
Yeah,
week
yeah.
for
What did-
typing wildermage.com.
Yeah, because that's it.
Rob, would you
And
mind
you are-
pulling that door closed behind you?
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
thank you.
Oh, hey, by the way, yeah, I'll do an introduction here. We'll go 360 in a minute.
We already did
Well, you-
introduction.
Yeah, but we didn't have a report.
Oh,
So this is our buddy who's hanging around in the back. If you catch him, let's go to 360 view for a sec. You catch him, he's sitting over beside Rob. His name is Peter Miro.
hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Pete is one of my oldest friends, and I mean that both ways. He and I, when did we meet, Pete? We met in 1979. So we've been friends a
That's the
long
year I was
time.
born.
There you go. We've been friends, Amanda old. So,
That's portentous. My
yeah.
goodness.
Anyways, Pete's just visiting for a day or so and just wanted to hang out and check out the first little bit of our game. Okay, let's see. Do I have the right thing on here now? Is it showing the correct?
Yeah, that's so much easier to understand now.
Yeah, but I think it's not showing you the right map still, is it? I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you'll see that there's already markers here for places you've been. Some of these markers only, if you click them, only go to a placeholder for the information that will eventually be put in the journal. Some of them go to places the journal information is already there. So if we click, for example, on, let's see, we click on Skywagon, there's some information about Skywagon that's already there, right? But if we click some of the more recent ones that might not have any info in them, like when you were down at, you figured out where Celestia Vale Portal was, all it says is that. And eventually we'll get text put there. So you'll see that there are these little golden fires. They won't get any bigger than this. These little golden fire icons are portal icons. So there's one for Celestia's Vale, and down in Legardo, you've got a string of little adventures that you guys have done. There's the Alligator Man Temple. There's Dungrung Lung. There's the Dead Halls. There's Firefinger. And then out in the water, there's the Merfolk. Okay, quick thing on that. Notice that there's a button here on the top that says My Journal. See that? This is for you to write in.
Ooh.
I want you to put your stuff here. I want you to remember to put your stuff here, whatever your notes are, so that we have it someplace. I'm not going to lose it because it's on a server. All right. And then you can access it. If you need, you can send it to me, any other players. Over here on the left-hand side, beside the search bar, there's a little icon that says Add Page. And there's even one that says Add Category, right? So if you click Add Page, maybe you have to double click it. You should be able to add a page. Maybe you have to add a you have to add a category first. Your stuff. Now it's taking this and it's putting it in the journal for you. All right. So there's your category. And then once you've got a category that you're in, you could probably add a page after this. Your first page. Okay.
Mine says user Ian does not have permission to use this page.
Oh.
My page or your page? Are you in my journal or your
His
journal?
page. He's only on
Lacks
his own.
permission to create journal entry.
You
Really?
gotta fix permissions.
Why? Okay, well, I'll have to test and see if I can figure out why it's giving me so much grief. This is the problem with software that is built by people who, play the game and they want to make stuff, and that's great. But because it's such a small market, it's not the, hundreds of thousands of people that a mainstream software product is released to. You get bugs all the time, and you got to constantly figure stuff out. We're trying to expand and improve our stuff because we haven't done anything about quests in the game. I'm going to press J and close my journal. Other stuff we're going to cover now. If you open your character sheet and go ahead, I'm going to do Percy Weirtagger, and you guys can do all the rest of them.
Sorry, I just want to make a note. There's an audio coming from somewhere. Do you have something on your...
Yeah.
Sounds like
You're
Russian
generating
breeze.
it? Okay.
Something
Yeah.
like a fan or
Sounds. No, it's breeze.
It's a
ambient
breeze coming
sound.
from the portal that you were all standing in.
something.
It's the TV speakers
Okay.
playing some sound in the background.
I thought
Okay.
someone left a kettle on or something.
No, it's just a soundtrack. Okay, so have you got your character screen open?
Yes.
Okay, up on the very little top brown gray bar, there are a bunch of icons up in the top left corner. There's a button to close. And then there's a button there called Paper Doll. Can you find the button called Paper Doll up in the top right corner of your character sheet on the brown gray bar?
Yes.
Do you see it?
I'm reloading my page again because computer's being
Ooh.
dumb.
Click it.
These are all my items.
You will see that this is what is known as, you'll see this as a common character thing in a lot of video games and things like this. This is basically your character and the things that your character can wear. Now, keep in mind, this is just a visual to help you. So all of those different slots that are there, I have filled them in with your stuff just so that you can kind of keep a track of your main things that you use.
Thank you.
You should also still rely on your inventory list and look through it. But the problem is inventory lists get a god awful long, right? This little paper doll allows you to, visualize your character a little bit better.
They
All
dress
right.
up.
Yes. Okay. So there you go. And you can click on any item that's in a slot and it will pop that item open so you can look at the details of it. But that's all it will do for you. Okay. And you could drag and drop. And also it doesn't have any kind of rule checking. You could stick a bow on your helmet. You could stick, shoes on your hands. It doesn't try and stop any of that stuff. It's just a helper for you to visualize your character. All right. But that's Paper Doll. It's a brand new edition for you.
Does the internet just not like so many people
I think
on
that
at
it
the
is
same time?
your computer is probably what it is. We're going to have to look at swapping it out for that other one, maybe. Let's go on to another
This
thing.
computer has literally been used like 5 times. 5 times ever. Like other than just
Yeah, well,
browser.
it's a pretty old one now, though. I don't know. How long have you had it?
That's a long time.
Yeah, 2019.
Well,
2019.
2019 is not that bad. 5 years old. But yeah, it seems to lag a lot when I've tried to get your stuff set up on it. Let's go on with the next thing. If you go to where items are, do you see the little, everybody knows the little button to click for actors. It's up in the top right-hand side. And there's a little button beside it called items. Can you find that button? It's right beside the button that you click to click the actors tab.
Yep.
Click items for a minute. If you find items, you'd be looking at party gear and common items
I found my paper
and crafting and gathering and magic. If you can, does everybody see that list?
Yep.
You will see a new button at the top called Recipe Manager.
Okay.
Do you see a button at the
Above
top
the
called
search
Recipe
items.
Manager? It's above search items.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. It's kind of like a light gray button. Recipe Manager. Click it. And you will see some recipe books. Do you see recipe books?
I don't see the same things that you see. I have 2 recipes.
You will only see the recipe books that you are allowed to access.
Oh.
So, on my screen, as you can see behind me, there are a number of recipe books here. There is the Beginner's Guide to Bombs. This book is about how to easily blow yourself up or burn yourself alive
I
by
have that
not
one.
bothering to read instructions. There's the Holy Healing Helper. There's Hard Ammo for Hard Times. There's Practical Leatherwork. There's Make It So. And there's Rune Forest Rune. So, we're going to look real quickly through some of these books because this is crafting and the direction that we are going to go in crafting in the future. It is different than the Pathfinder crafting. The Pathfinder crafting is based on the idea that somehow you're magically pulling up to 5 infused regents just out of your butt every so often and making something with them. But that's stupid. I've played many, many, many video games with crafting systems, and the Pathfinder one is the least fun of all of them. So this is to make it more fun. This is based on what you find that might work in a recipe. So it is not going to be necessarily based on how long you have to wait, although there will be some downtime limits. It's based on what you find and what you can make with it. And there will be discoverable recipes and discoverable books as you go along that get more and higher and more involved and more interesting. And you will be able to take decent weapons that you've had in the past and upgrade them if you've got that weapon and you find a new gizmo that fits on it, stuff like that. So we're going to go through an example here. And the most common example is the Holy Healing Helper. In the Holy Healing Helper, it should be that both Lavinia and Raven can make healing potions. Do you have a healing potion recipe?
I do.
Now remember, these are just
I am also available to make the holy healing helper because
yarrow root bandages. So
That's different.
there's gonna
okay,
be
but I just clicked on the holy healing helper. Oh, and it opened up yarrow root bandages.
yeah. Now keep in mind, I don't even have all of the beginning recipes in this system that I want you to have right from the get-go. Okay. So the way this works is the book actually currently holds 5 recipes. Okay. Lavinia can see the holy water ones and the healing potion. Josephine, I forgot a name for a sec. Josephine, Percy, and Thaddeus can all make yarrow root bandages for character reasons. Josephine, being somebody who was out in the wilds as a child all the time, has got woodcraft and can make yarrow root bandages. Percy, of course, raised as a tracker, yarrow root bandages, and Thaddeus, yarrow root bandages because he's a medical guy.
Trained medical
All right.
professional.
Healing potions can be made
Brag.
by the other two. Okay. So that's why this healing book has got these in here. So let's say that one of you wanted to make a yarrow root bandage. You click on it and you'll see that it's got a couple of ingredients that it needs. And then you hit the little hammer up at the top and it makes the yarrow root bandage. If you don't have the ingredients in your inventory, the recipe will not do anything for you. What it will do if you've got the right ingredients is it will take those ingredients out of your inventory and it will put the crafted result in your inventory.
Oh, nice.
Look closely, you will see their tiny little numbers in the case of yarrow root bandages, or in your healing potion, there's a tiny little number. That number dictates how many of the ingredients you have to use. Okay? So right now, most of the time it'll be 1, 1, and 1. It's just like in a little red square or orangey red square, and how many it'll give you. So if we look at holy water, you'll see for Lavinia, she's got 3 recipes for holy water. One is a holy water flask that only just takes 1 flask of water, and she can make it holy water. One is a bottle of water and 2 empty flasks. She could make 2 holy waters. And another one is a jug of water, which holds 48 ounces, and 4 empty flasks, and she can make 4 at a time. Okay? So this isn't a perfect system, but I'm trying to make it work for you. Notice with the healing potion that there is currently no requirements for any tools on these. But if you go to leatherwork, for example, practical leatherwork, and you look at any of the recipes for Rob in leatherwork, and you guys can't see him, but you can see him on the screen behind me. Let's say that he wants to make leather straps. At the very top, it says required tools, leather working tools. Yeah. The game will not let you make something unless you have the tools to do it.
Shh, Bear, we're coming for you. Just don't worry about it.
So that means that if you take your tools and you put them back in the bag of holding, you're not going to be able to do any crafting because you took your tools and you put them someplace. They got to be in your inventory to work. All right. So that's why I put them back, a couple of them back in your inventories. All right. I know you're trying to cut your weight. I know what you're doing, but that's what you're going to need. You're going to need whatever the tools are. It turns out that somebody who's a medical man who's really good at, sewing up wounds and stitching stuff also has all of the necessary stuff to make things. And so I have invented a tailoring kit that Thaddeus has now.
Well, thank you very much.
And Thaddeus has his first recipe, which is to make a traveler's cloak. And this is, in fact, the only recipe that's in here so far that actually makes a magical item. A traveler's cloak has
That's
a little thing with
so
fatigue in it.
Nifty
All right.
stitching, sir.
So he needs some fabric, wool fabric. He needs needle and thread. He needs some green dye, and then he can make a cloak. All right. So this how much stuff you can make is going to be dependent on where you find things, which brings us to the other module that this works with that you guys are, that's not set up yet. You guys are not going to be able to use until I get set up. It's called Gathering. What Gathering does is there will be points on the map that you're going to be able to click on as gathering points. And those points are then going to go, boom, congratulations, you found a flower or 2 flowers or 5 flowers of this kind, or you found a mushroom, or you found this, and all that crap. You take it and you put it in your inventory, and that's the stuff that you need. For example, the healing potion, the lesser healing potion needs
A mushroom with
a red mushroom
with white dots on
white
it.
spot. Did you find any in your inventory? Why, yes, you have a couple. Okay, so some of these recipes will be dependent on you finding stuff to be able to do them. Lavinia also has a crafting ability because each of you's got one. Josephine's is gunsmithing. Percy's is leatherworking. Thaddeus's is tailoring. Raven is alchemy and stuff like that. Lavinia is rune crafting. She now has a rune crafter's kit. And rune crafting is how come it's not giving me the recipe? Oh, there it is. Rune crafting is something where she can take runes, sometimes even just a rune stone, and she can take treasure or other plain items, and she can turn them into cool magical things.
Cool.
But it's not going to be things that are leather or things that are cloth or things that are, it's going to be precious metals or rings or baubles or unusual stuff like that. All right. There you go. Any questions about the recipe manager thing? You guys will just be able to grow into it as we go.
I have a question.
Yes.
As a alchemist, I normally would get reagents just automatically every morning, and I'm wondering how that works with this new process.
With the new process, you'll have to see if they appear in your inventory or not, which means that I, as a dungeon master, have to just drag them in there, right? Because we're not going to be using infused reagents. We're going to be using these ingredients.
I see.
Yes, and we will figure out the ones that you would get for the certain things, and then just remind me and I'll just pop them into your inventory for you, kind of thing. Okay. That is all of that information. Something else. And I know we're spending a lot of time on Foundry, but this is important because these are really major new updates. This is like getting a huge new patch in a game. Okay. You can close your character sheet for a second and hold down Control or Shift.
It's amazing what happens when you hold down Control or Shift.
And Glenn's phone goes off.
I love the 80s music.
Da 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 da. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hold down Control and hit the space bar. What came up?
Spotlight Omnisearch.
Does everybody see a little bar called Spotlight Omnisearch?
Spotlight Omnisearch.
Now you can grab on to the little magnifying glass in the top left corner of the Spotlight Omnisearch bar, and you can move it around on your screen by grabbing onto that magnifying glass. Okay? Put it where you need it to be.
Okay.
Spotlight Omnisearch
Why do
will
we
let
need to move
you
it?
search anything you want to find out. It's better than the compendium.
I have an interesting question.
Yeah.
It says I don't have any leatherworking tools. It also says when I tried to look for them, they don't exist.
Where are they? Have you looked in the bag of holding where you put them? That's right.
Well, they should appear as an object searchable in the compendium.
The reason that they probably don't appear as a searchable object is because they're a homebrew. Spotlight Omnisearch is pretty much only going to work
Okay.
for regular system stuff. Any of the customs, homebrew stuff that I build, it tends to ignore it. All right. But any of which is why I try and use regular stuff when it exists. The first thing I do is I go to the compendium and I look for the item I'm looking for. And then I immediately become pissed off because that item does not exist in the Pathfinder compendium. And then I go make my own. Right?
Is anyone else so excited that Google chose an otter for the search bar for today? And
I totally am not.
yeah, isn't that adorable? You don't like the otters?
I don't. The otters are beautiful. I love them. I don't care.
Love them.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh.
So let's find out. So if we go Rune Crafter, I'm sure it won't show me anything. Oh, it did. It showed me a Rune Crafter's kit. What were you looking for, Rob?
Oh, I found it. It was in the bag of holding.
Yeah, but it should have. So anyways, control bar to turn it on and turn it off. Okay. Leather work. Well, I get it. Leather working tools comes up right away.
So control space.
Control
bar.
space. Control space or shift space.
Yeah, it's because I dragged it into my inventory.
Yep. Now you're good. So yeah, you guys will usually not have to worry about that, but you might run into recipes that'll suddenly have a tool that's required for that recipe. You're like, oh my God, where am I going to find that tool? You're going to have to wait and discover it in the adventure. All right. Next thing on our notes list, we've talked about the paper doll, Omnisearch. We're now going to talk about Dice So Nice. This is something for me and not for you because we use real dice in this game whenever possible, because that's like the essence of D&D. But of course, if you're playing remotely, using real dice is not an option like we have. Okay.
You can,
So-
but how do you prove it?
Exactly. So you want your dice, and so there are all kinds of dice rolling functions built into all of these different kinds of RPG, desktop RPG games. In this case, here's what happens if I take everybody in this scene and I put you into an encounter and I roll, and you'll see it on the, hey, what's this thing on this? Hold on. What the hell's on here? Where's the X for this? Is this an X?
That's next.
Go away.
Go away.
Oh, hold on. I got to take the map away for a minute. Because I got to fix this, whatever these things are, and I can't do it at this distance.
The X is here.
The X is there? Am I on it?
Yeah. It says close. A little more to your, closer to you. Up closer. Yeah, there we go.
Hold on. Come here, map. I require you to be on my other computer screen.
Do you know that Control W closes a window?
Blah, blah. No, I didn't. Okay, I'll remember that. Okay, there. I put all the stuff back where it's supposed to be.
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if it works in all applications, but it should.
So here we go. We've got you guys. You are in an encounter as it shows on the screen behind me. And it's time to roll initiative. And I've got a bunch of monsters, so I'm going to roll initiative for those
Right
monsters. No, we're not really. I'm doing an example.
Just like,
Oh my
And
gosh.
she panics.
well, I did because I kind of was only half paying attention.
Okay, watch
so-
the table. Here we go. Watch the table. Did it do it for my... Okay, did you
Yeah,
see?
it did.
Can
They're
the
huge.
screen show
Okay.
They're
the
huge.
Oh,
All right. Okay, I'll do it again for you. Ready? Watch the table.
Can our viewing audience see this?
Not
Yes,
sure.
they can.
yeah.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that's used by people who are playing remotely to roll dice and to have the fun idea of it rolls across the screen and it shows the dice. But in those cases, the dice make noise. They stick around for a long time. And if you look in the chat panel, it'll tell you what everybody rolled. Okay. In this case,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
The one time that is what rolls a 23.
In this case, I am using it. I am using it to get around the really annoying thing that happens when I have to roll our monster initiatives, and it all goes blah, 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 and I have to push the button 20 times. This way I push it once and it just does it all. Okay, so that's what that's there for. If you find a Dice So Nice message, ignore it. It doesn't count for you guys.
I think it'd be just easier if you only had like 2 or 3 monsters.
Yeah, I would simplify things quite
I
a
think
bit.
that would be like way easier.
Well,
Reduce
you'll be
the number of
happy to know.
efficiency. You know,
that I've tried to balance it out. Sometimes I'll give you 5 or 6 or 7 monsters like the elves. And I have a whole bunch of just 1 or 2 or 3 monsters. They're really
You
big.
can have a mammoth, a zombie mammoth. Or you
See?
can have zombie
There
elf.
we go. Now, she totally gets it. All right. Now, Dice So Nice, that's what that's for. Okay. Next thing on the list is Percy's character. So Percy's character, as you can see on the list, we're going to scroll right in on it here. And Percy's character, he's right here, Percy Redfeather. Can you see him on the big screen?
Should
Right.
see him on the big screen. Yep.
But look what happens to Percy if we right click this and there's a little swirl here. You see that swirl? Here we go. Book. Come on. Roar! And he suddenly becomes, it says Percy Redfeather, but now if you click his token, it actually brings up, do you have to double click it? It actually brings up Percy Weirtagger sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of the time you're going to use the actor tab to do this, but now I can actually flip the tokens back and forth so the transformation is complete. All right. Something else that's cool is that I've started companions. Raven has got his Raven back. Pay no attention to the bear. You don't see the bear. The bear's not there. Here's Raven's Raven. Okay. Right there. See it? Raven has got his familiar Raven. Here's the thing about Raven's Raven. We can go like this. There we go. Now wherever Raven goes.
Yay!
Yay.
His Raven goes with him and follows him around just like that.
By the way, he gets 5 hit points per level, so he should have 25 hit points.
All right. So Raven, the bird, has got a character sheet here, and you and I need to go through it and correct it to the right thing. All right. How many hit points is he supposed to have?
25.
25. Because this is the default Raven that comes just in the game as like a bird. You can send a swarm of ravens and something attack it. So in your case, you need to let me know if he has any other attack abilities or any other attributes that we need to add because he's your special familiar from your extra familiar feat.
Mine didn't update, but I'm sure that's fine.
It will.
Okay.
I'm sure it will. It should. If it doesn't, I'll sort it out.
Okay.
That is most of the Foundry stuff. We've talked about
you, Peter.
Mastercrafter, Gatherer. We've talked about Token Attacher, Token Flip, Bag of Holding cleaned up a little. Raven's inventory. We talked about the companions in the actor tab. I've started the companions here, and I've got all these different ones. There's actually a bunch of mounts in here too, but I've got a Slurk, I got a Velociraptor, I got your Raven. This is where I want the list, okay, of other companions from you. All right.
Okay.
Other stuff that I need to talk to Raven about. We talked when you were gone last week about everybody's weapons got rebalanced. Okay. So in their inventories and in their action tabs, their weapons are rebalanced. In your inventory, you will find that you have a pneumatic dragoon revolver. This pneumatic dragoon revolver, a weapon of your own design, okay, is a modified 44 caliber revolver adapted by you to be a 5-shot single action pneumatic weapon that does not take powder, black powder, and is therefore silent. Anyways, it takes these little flechettes. These little flechettes are like little darts. And so you will see on your action tab that it hasn't got a great strike edition on it. It's only got a +2, but 1d6 plus piercing and 1d4 damage. So you have a gun, all right, just in case you ever need a gun, and there may be a reason in the future. There were a couple of other things about your stuff too, and I forget what it was that we talked about for you. Fireball, reflex save, I'll talk to you about that later. Identify magic items. It is now time to identify magic items. So the way of identifying magic items, you and I have talked about this. You get to try once a day if you roll the DCs. So you have a ton of magic items in your inventory. Do you want to get them identified?
I sure do, Bob.
Let's go there. I want to get that done, so then we're going to go on with the adventure.
You want to do this online or do you want to do it later?
I want to do it right now.
Okay.
Name the item and tell me what you want.
Well, there's a flaming sphere, but I don't know what it is.
Excuse me. Roll to find out.
Okay. So what am I rolling? Like an arcane check?
It's going to be a DC, your DC against the level of the item to identify.
But what's
So
my
you don't know.
modifier?
Yeah, arcane.
Arcane. Okay.
Which you got a big boost to.
Yeah, I've got good arcane. I just got to find it here. Arcana, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's a plus 10.
Yep.
Okay, so it was a 15 plus 10.
That flaming sphere is actually a sphere that's got a copy of the fireball spell inside of it. If you were to throw it someplace and it landed and it shattered, the fireball would go off. Whoosh. In the meantime, it's quite hot and it provides light as a beacon, but don't drop it at your feet. Okay, that's the flaming sphere.
Okay. So I have to modify these as we go because I won't remember any of this.
I'll fix it later on. I know what it is.
Okay. The next one is I have an amulet of, or you know what that is. I have an unusual ring.
Have an unusual ring. Roll to see if you can see what it is.
Okay, I rolled a 13 plus 10 is 23.
And magically, your ring is identified, and you now see that it is a ring of lies.
All right, it's an election year.
Exactly. Perfect.
So, plus 2 to deception checks. Oh, that could
Okay,
be fun.
so
So,
you can-
anybody can use that, right?
Yeah, this one is not limited to a particular class. Next item, you want to go to the next one, which is an unusual cloak.
I do.
Roll.
Like, let's make a deal, I feel. I rolled a 17 plus 10.
Yeah, no problem. I identify it for you, and you know that it is an aerial cloak.
Cool.
Oop. Okay,
I
next
gotta learn
thing.
what that is, but sure, that sounds like fun. Okay. How about a wand with budding growth on it?
Okay, so this is one that you've made. This is not the actual wand that is from the game. So I'll have to go actually find the wand and put it here in space of this if you succeed in identifying this.
Okay. Shall I identify it?
Yeah, go give it a try.
Okay, this time I rolled, it looks like an 8 plus 10 is 18.
No problem. He's still identified. I'll put it in there. I forget what it's called, but it's a oh, I remember. It's a wand of goodberry. That's what it is.
Oh, that could be good.
So it's a bit of a
Good berries. are good.
goodberries will heal you if you eat them.
Okay, I have
And
an
that's actually a D&D thing, but we're going to use it because goodberry is just too good to
Okay.
not be buried.
So I don't need to write any of this down. You're going to do it
No,
for me,
I'll
right?
deal with it.
Okay.
And you know, it's really convenient. I have this video record now
Oh,
that I
yeah.
can go back and do my homework
That's
with.
thoughtful. Okay. Well, I have an ordinary looking hat. Is there anything magical about it?
Yes, there is. You might want to roll to see what's the deal with the hat.
All right. I rolled a 13.
It appears that the hat is a hat of disguise.
Ooh, lucky.
How to disguise. Maybe I'll send it over to our rogue. It looks like he could use some more
All right.
more outfits.
You have a whole bunch of scrolls. Mass roll for the scrolls.
Okay. I rolled a 20.
Oh my God. So all of the scrolls
That's with my
are
bonus.
now identified.
Shrink. Sweet.
And you have got scroll of command, scroll of shrink, scroll with red ink that turned out to be penumbral disguise. You had a scroll of enlarged rank 2.
Sweet.
Scroll in purple ink
You use that scroll of shrink on the
is
Pixie to fix
force
it.
fang. Scroll in black ink is scroll of safe passage.
Sweet.
Wind scroll is scroll of levitate, and heart scroll is scroll of charm. That is
I got a scroll of an image of a running elf.
okay. I'll figure out what it is and like replace it so that
Okay.
it's correct. Okay, that should pretty much cover all what you got here.
Well, I've got a potion of feather floating in it. Just under that scroll of Running elf?
You had a little vial with a purple glittery thing with a feather. In
I'll
it.
figure it out. I don't remember what it is right
Okay.
now. Note here, you've got a fire flower in here now. This is an ingredient that you found a couple of. I just retconned that.
Okay.
Those fire flowers you're going to need for your alchemist fire bombs.
Okay.
All right. Going on down. I want to see if there's anything else you need identified. And I see down at the bottom there is an unusual leather satchel.
Yes, I see that.
You want to roll for it?
I sure do.
I'm not putting it on the screen. I don't want you guys to know what it is.
Well, I rolled a natural 20.
Oh my God. So that leather satchel is a bag of holding.
Sweet.
Type 1. All right.
I'll have to find out what that means.
Way
Type
to
one.
go.
Well, I didn't find it. Someone gave it to me.
You got a bag.
It's another bag of holding.
Okay, sweet.
So it's got a big long description on it. You
Okay,
can
I'll read
figure
up
that
on
out.
it. Put all my stuff in it. Okay, then I have a potion of ruby colored, smells like a rotten decay.
I'll have to figure it out
Okay,
Mm.
and also metallic smelling one.
because you see, these ones are ones that we've made and put in your list, but they're not identity hidden the way the others are functionality.
Right.
So, for example, to give you guys an understanding of how I work things as a dungeon master, if you look on the screen here, I can't scroll in any further, but here we've got a potion of resistance lesser. You see this little question mark that none of you have that I have? It says mystify item. If I click this, it suddenly removes the identity from the item and just says, hey, you've got an unusual liquid with a big question mark. But if I click it, it gives me the chance to identify it. And when I identify it, then it tells you what the real answer is. Because when you're looking at a potion here, you've got description, details. I have an extra one called mystification that lets me to put in information in for the false identity. All right. Now you know how that works. Any other questions? Other things people need help with right now?
I thought we were going to go around and identify everybody's object.
All right, you will do the
again?
rest. I'll allow, because we
But I
did.
didn't.
We're allowed to do it once.
I didn't get a single one right.
That's right.
No, I got one right.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
what I did
failed.
for
You
bounding on
failed.
that.
I failed
So,
completely.
We'll let you guys try yourselves, and if it doesn't work, I would suggest you hand them off to either Lavinia or Raven, and then they
Okay.
can try next game. Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead, Josephine. Anything you really want to identify?
Yeah, just,
Or-
sorry, just give
or do
me
you
a
want me to
second.
come
I'm
back
gonna
to you?
get- Well, I wasn't expecting.
Let's start with Percy.
Percy,
Percy-
already has his
Yeah.
inventory up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
And
want
then
to
Lavinia,
identify
if you've got
the
something, okay.
unusual plate first and foremost.
Roll to see if you can figure out this unusual plate that you have.
It's my tray. Oh. Yeah, damn it. It's too unstable. Okay, try this. Oh, okay, that's not bad. 17 plus whatever my thingy is.
Close enough.
Okay.
It turns out that your unusual plate is a clockwork disguise.
Ooh.
So this is light armor, but it also is made up of all of these little gears that will reform themselves into any type of armor that, let's say you were going to infiltrate a stronghold and all of the guards had a distinctive looking armor. You could make your armor look like theirs. It does stuff like this. There are a couple important things about this, though. It is light armor, right? With a +2 AC bonus, and it is a high enough magical item that it remains on your body when you morph.
Okay.
That's the big
Wow.
point.
All right.
All right.
Well, considering it's mechanical and shifts its size, it would adjust to the
Yes.
changes and dimensions of the.
There's only two things that remain on your body when you three things: your bow, your arrows, and this armor.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
Okay. Anything else?
All right, and then we've also got the. Did we already identify the blue feather?
I don't think you ever identified the blue feather. Nope, you never did.
Okay, let's try.
You had that blue feather for like a year.
Had it for like a year. Let's give it a whirl. Nope, 2. Doesn't do it.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what the freaking blue
it's a
feather
special.
is.
It's a special wondrous item called unidentifiable feather.
And the bladed gauntlet, I think
We did identify.
We did identify.
Bladed gauntlets are
Carvers of
bladed
Night Terrain,
gauntlets.
Tinderbox Canteen. I think that's everything.
I don't
for
see anything
now.
else unidentified on yours. I think you're good to go.
I think
Cat
that's-
amulet.
Oh, the cat amulet. Yes.
Roll.
Let's do the cat amulet. Why does it do that?
Bad. That was a
Garbage.
bad one.
Absolutely.
My dice.
I must be, because it lands on the 18 and then rolls to the 4.
I'd like to cast guidance.
Just good Lord.
Well, you can't do it afterwards. You have to do it before he does it.
All right,
yeah.
It doesn't matter. It wouldn't have helped him with 4 points. I don't think would have helped him.
No.
Lavinia, do you have anything you want to ID still?
You know, this is kind of odd that I'm asking, but I want to ask about Abuela Mala's skull.
You do not have the ability to identify Abuela Mala's skull. It requires a person who knows. So you require a person who knows about that skull
Get-
to identify the background of the skull for you. It's an unusual item, not like a regular magical item in the
Yeah.
game.
It just is calling me to.
I think that's perfectly legit. And that's the only thing you have unidentified anyways, right? Yes, it is. I
sure
just
it
looked.
is. I mean,
Josephine.
the runestone and that sort of stuff is just all part of the crafting, right?
In this case, runestones sometimes will have a rune carved in them, or they'll be blank. And then you can use a blank one to carve a rune, to keep a rune. Okay, a rune is this is how you make your equipment more powerful, is you carve runes into it. You transfer those runes to stones to carry, or from the stone into the item to give it that magical enhancement. So those just blank rune stones that you've got. They're just little gray rune stones. When they are used and the rune to carve, then they embody that power. When that rune is transferred to a magical item, the little stone itself crumbles away. It's a consumable. You have to get a new rune stone to transfer that rune out again. Okay? So let's look at your inventory real quick, and I want to see what you got. You have got a Willamel skull. We already covered that. Josephine, do you have anything?
I have several unusual, unidentified objects here.
Okay.
So,
Top.
starting at the top of the list, the unusual chain shirt.
Yep, go.
And I rolled a 12.
Close enough. It
Nice.
is a moonlit chain.
Ooh.
All right. This +1 silver chain shirt has a collar adorned with stitched images of phases of the moon. You can see in moonlight as though you had low light vision, which doesn't really help you. It's got dim sight.
Does that give me like extra low light vision?
No.
Oh.
But if somebody else in this group wears it, it would give them low light vision. However,
Would
it
you
is
like the shirt,
it is
sir?
light armor. You have to see if you can wear light armor versus leather armor. So we'll have to figure that out for your character.
Can a rogue wear light armor?
I don't know off the top of my head right now. I have to go check. So next thing I see is unusual headwear that you have.
Mm-hmm. The unusual headwear. Winner, chicken dinner. Come on. I rolled a 15.
Good enough.
Mhm.
Your unusual headwear turns out to be a hat of disagreeable disguise.
Oh. Oh.
This
Doesn't
elegant
sound
hat.
promising.
No.
It looks just like a hat of disguise. All right. But it casts first rank illusionary disguise. However, the illusion disadvantages you based on your intent, making you, for example, appear to be a suspicious ruffian if you're trying to sneak past guards, or lending you the seeming of a pauper if you're trying to impress a shallow aristocrat. So it doesn't give you the disguise you want.
So this
It
is a
gives
good.
you, like,
This
the
is a good thing to trade with
Mhm.
someone.
Yeah, this reminds me of the
Bag
bag,
of
of
weasels
squirrels.
or-
Yeah, the bag of
Weasels. Okay, you have an unusual chain.
Let's roll for the unusual chain. I rolled an 11.
Close enough. Unusual chain is here, come on, let's go. Chain of the Stilled Spirit. This 3-foot length of chain is made of a mystical blue-white steel. You can wrap the chain around an item or creature. If a ghost of 9th level or lower is bound to the item or creature by its rejuvenation ability, it cannot rejuvenate if it is destroyed.
I am not giving this one away. This
Yeah.
is like my green rope.
This chain can't impede a ghost's rejuvenation that is tied to an area, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So,
Cool.
it's ghosty fighting gear.
Yeah.
And I think...
Sorry, I have a question, Mr.
Yeah.
DM. If we would have put that around the commander who was disembodied and then chasing us and taking over our bodies, would that have prevented him from doing so?
Would not have prevented possession. It would, however, have prevented rejuvenation. When you killed him, he would have stayed. So the thing about a ghost is that you kill it and it just kind of disappears. But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came, so the ghost
Thought he
comes
was a
back,
goner.
About the cat king.
and it'll stop that.
Hmm.
But no, it would not have stopped the. Well, I'd have to do some research. I might allow it to stop the possession. We'll see.
But
Next time I'll be prepared and I'll know ahead of time what the chain can do and cannot do.
But it means we've got to get close enough to put the chain on him. So
Yeah.
that's-
See now, but that would not embolden me enough to go back to that damn elf camp. I don't think I want to go there. No,
no, that
no,
wasn't
I don't
very
think I
fun.
want to face that one because there could be more of that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all of the stuff in Josephine's inventory. You guys have most of your stuff identified. Do you have anything?
I think I'm okay. There's a couple of things I'm going to ask you about online, through emails and stuff about the crafting.
Okay.
So, but we don't need to.
You only have like 3 unidentified things. Roll 1 for everything. I want to see if you just get all these.
Let's identify the idea.
16.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Your small green box is in fact a puzzle box.
Okay.
And you can go on and look at these. Your mug, you've got a mug that's unidentified. And it turns out it is a false bottomed mug.
Ooh, nice.
And your silver coin, you found a silver coin that's unidentified. It turns out that it is a coin of comfort.
What is a coin?
Now, something else while I've got Thaddeus's thing, I'm going to click Thaddeus's paper doll for a moment. I want to show you something here. They don't have a image artwork for a bowler hat, but I made you a bowler hat that you're wearing. All right. This comfortable, stylish hat, blah, blah, blah. It's just a hat. All right. Because, of course, they don't put very much Western gear. You've got a concealed holster, studded leather armor. When you guys rob the train, the robbers of the train, which means not Lavinia, but the rest of you, you're all wearing those good old, spaghetti Western trail dusters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it used to be that they had a little bit of armor on them. I've changed that. I've made them cloaks. So they are still your trail dusters that you've got, but they're cloaks. And that's why they're in the cloak slot on your paper doll.
I think I sold my trail duster at the what is it called? The
Rendezvous.
rendezvous.
It could be.
And
I think-
I'm pretty sure I got rid
I
of it.
think you sold it, and look at that. Magically, it came back. It was a boomerang trail duster. Anyway, so you'll have a few items here you'll want to look at for stuff like that, okay? I think I'm finally done telling you all the new stuff. So we're going to look at the time. It's 8:12. We're going to take a break, and then we are going to come back and we're going to jump straight into the adventure. You guys have actually come through the portal from Verdansk. Well, I'm going to talk about that after the break. Okay, we'll just pick up where we left off and do the quick review, and then go on. And we're done all the housekeeping, and we can go have fun. All right.
Woohoo! Time
Okay.
for fun.
Thanks, guys, for coming to hang out with us. We'll be back, and right now it is 8:13. Our time, target time to be back, is going to be 8:20. Okay, 7 minutes. We'll see you all then. trying to fix them. Okay, we are back. Here, I'll give this to you. And we're going to do the clacker. Where is it? Here it is. Comes the clacker. Okay, go ahead. You can talk.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Quacker. Yeah. All right. Also, chat's shut off. You guys will need to push the little button to turn chat back on for the
I
screen.
just pressed it. Is it there?
If it doesn't work, go to page 2 and click the inactive one on page 2.
Okay, I'll let you drive, Rob, so we don't fight each other.
No.
Rob and I did that the other day. We were turning Dave bobblehead on and off.
Are you turning chat on?
So it's only chat only appears on my screen and on the split screens. It does not appear on 360 and the other ones.
Oh, all right.
There, you turned
There
it
it
off.
is.
Eventually, I'll try and find a useful place for it to be, but it's not going to be on all of our screens, and that's simply because it's too hard for me to fit it in. All right, that's what she said. Never mind. Let's go on and pick up where we left off. Where we left off was that you had gone through the Verdantis portal. The other thing that you will not be aware of yet, Raven, is that you have in your inventory a navigation kit
Sweet.
that was discovered on one of the bodies of one of the defeated undead elves. On the captain of the undead elves, there was a small leather case. It's about 4 inches high, 8 by 8, maybe a little bit bigger. Inside, you found what looks to be some type of golden steampunky sextant and a journal of celestial navigation. You were able to use that in the last game to establish the location of where you guys were standing in the world, approximately by latitude and longitude. So you know that on the map, here we go, a quick quest. I'll put it up on the, hey, there we go. Simple quest on the map. You were able to figure out, is it on the map behind me? Yes. You were able to figure out that this is where you were standing. The portal of where you were standing was on the southern end of the Feywood area. So that is Celestial Vale portal. You stood there and you used your navigation and you succeeded in doing that. You all went then through, because you're still trying to save this dying pixie that you've got who's unconscious.
What? She's still dying?
Oh, yeah. And you all went through. What's this here? Fog of
like
War
2
brush size.
hours.
Well, we're not using Fog of War for this. So you went through to the Hall of Fires. You came out and you are trying to figure out where you are. But the problem is you need it to be nighttime. You need it to be clear sky so you can see the constellations. And it takes you up to 4 hours to establish your location.
Did you show him what appeared in the sky when he wasn't looking?
Oh, that's right.
You missed
Yeah.
out big time.
So let's see if
Was it a flying
I
ship?
can find it. Yes, it
You'll
was.
see.
And not a ship. Mm-mm.
A creature.
It was
Nope,
like
not a
that.
creature.
Well, this is fun. Keep guessing.
Well, here's the problem now. I got to go find this thing, and I don't remember
No
where it
hippos.
is.
Think bigger. Bigger.
Bigger?
The-
A
like-
blue whale?
Bigger.
And
Bigger.
a
big.
potted plant. Is what was it? A pot of
See.
begonias?
Monstera. Those the big
Landscapes.
Yeah.
potted plants. Yes.
I think it was in the
Chimera.
forest, right? Was it in the forest? No.
What could it have been?
Was it in the portal?
Hot air
Could have
balloon?
been,
Maybe it was in the sky.
Bigger.
Was it a cloud?
Sky.
Sky.
Let's try sky.
Bigger.
Was it a
Well,
aurora
there was-
borealis?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
there you go.
is.
You just passed it up.
Yeah, it's up there.
Mm.
There it is.
Which one is it? Here it is, Cloud City.
Cloud City.
Look at that.
There you go.
You missed that
So
last week.
when they came out of the Verdantis portal and they were standing on the top, the entire forest around them was covered in mist, which is why the map, the Foundry map that you still got that you're on, is still got mist around all of the edges. Like you see this mist that's around these edges here. But the mist eventually cleared, and to the east you saw that it was to the west, to the west you saw that it was plains, and as you looked out, the clouds broke, and this was what you saw. It's unusual for the clouds to clear away from the bottom of a floating city because there seems to be some type of atmospheric interaction between the bottom of the city and the clouds that creates the vapor. But you saw this for a brief 15, 20 minutes before the clouds closed in again. And then all you could see was whatever was above the top outer ring, which is the wall of the city. But it's pretty cool. And you also know that to the east, there is forest, and far in the distance, a mountain range to the east that swings off towards the southwest. That's what you know. You've got your Pixie. Lavinia tried with another spell that she had to
Cast out the darkness from
basically heal the Pixie, and it did improve the Pixie's condition by level 1. The black spidery veins became very faint, but the Pixie is still unconscious and still sick.
And
I would like to
discovered
ask
a bite mark.
again
What's that?
for
I
like the
discovered a
third
bite
time
mark.
now. Okay.
What's that? Sorry, Amanda?
Oh, sorry. No.
So Thaddeus discovered the bite mark on the back of the Pixie's neck, so you know that it was bit and that it's probably ghoul disease. And what did you say?
Well, I just that we've been applying holy water topically. Have we given her any to drink internally?
I don't think you have tried to get her to drink it.
No.
Can we try that?
Can you? You can
We
give
certainly-
it a
Like
try.
I'm asking the group. I'm not asking you, Dave. You don't make the decisions.
Sure,
That's
let's put
right.
some lemon in it.
Yeah. Make it holy water tea.
Little umbrella.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
A little bit of gin.
A
Absolutely.
squirt of
We
orange.
don't. I'm just.
I mean,
gonna-
it's not going to hurt her.
Well,
it may
maybe.
hurt her.
It might.
The holy water poultices have done her nothing but good.
But you've got to wonder if it caused inflammation in the skin or a problem with swelling. If it creates a violent reaction, a violent enough reaction, could that cause her to stop breathing or stop?
But the holy water poultices have taken down
Yeah.
some of her
What I
pain.
will put forth though is that the spell that I used the last time, I can only use it once with her. There is no way that I can use it again. So whatever it is that we do has to be independent of that. Also, depending on what is happening with her, we don't know what the effects of the holy water are going to be, but I'm up to providing it if that's what you want.
I also
Right.
took tissue samples from the shambling dead that I can eventually refine, hopefully, into an antitoxin, but it'll take time.
And the thing is too, if she's bitten and if it's spreading, and she's indeed inflicted, then holy water will do the adverse effect and kill her, and we don't want that.
That's kind of what I'm
I
quietly
know.
saying.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, effectively, just from our assessment, she could be turning undead.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. I think we would all agree with that.
Yeah, the bite is a pretty strong indication of that.
Yeah, and the spider veins and all of the above.
Yeah.
And so,
If you look at and you zoom in on the map on your screen, and you can see it if you go to the adventure screen for the overhead behind me. If you zoom in, here is Neluthel. You should all have observer status of her now to be able to double click and open her sheet, but I'll do it for you on the big map here.
Is that
And-
her name?
Neluthel. She told her name was Neluthel just before she passed out.
Oh,
If you look at the effects tab on her, you will see that she is fatigued. There is persistent damage happening. These are all the medical observations of good Thaddeus. Sickened level 1, unconscious, blind, prone, and off guard. obviously, but so she has got a lot going on.
Poor thing.
She's extremely sick,
Mhm.
just so you know, and this should probably be
But she still has.
weak.
Wait, 21 out of 25. And look how cute she is.
She's got 21 out of 25 due to the healing that's been done to try and keep it up. The problem is that even though you have mostly sustained her, she has taken damage. Remember last night she got sick again?
Mhm.
She dropped back down in hit points.
Check out the spider. Isn't he nice?
Is there another spider in our house?
It looks like an orb weaver.
You know, if you, oh my God, if you find a spider in this house and you rescue it, you are a kind soul, because Dave
And Robert.
does not
Yeah, it's a gorgeous
allow
spider.
spiders in the house, because spiders in the house end up meaning more spiders in the house.
Spiders in the house eat the little buggies in the house. They
I
hide in the corner and they just eat the little buggies.
no, I've had enough of spiders
Okay,
in my house. I
back
don't
to
like-
our Pixie.
Okay, back to
Let's go back to Pixie.
So back to the pixie named
I
Neluthel.
want to ask you the question. Can I use treat conditions from my feet?
Use your hands.
Read conditions from your feet. You have something on your feet that's like a
Honey.
bomb.
Just those frilly socks that you could crawl over.
Intimidating glare.
That would be FEA.
Lucky for me, it doesn't
slippers.
work
Plastic
on
slippers
the-
with holy water on them and rub them on your back.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm saying I have a feat called treat.
You already used your
That was before.
feet. Yes.
That was another
And
day.
it wasn't that. It was a different. It wasn't treat condition. It was. a
Well, somebody
spell.
used treat condition last time. I know Thaddeus can
That was-
treat condition too.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Do you read this stuff?
Yes.
What does it say?
You're holding healer's tools or
To reduce the sickened condition.
Yeah. So
When I used treat condition, it really didn't do much.
Mm.
It did stabilize her
Yeah.
a bit.
20th level.
But I mean, it's not
I mean,
like
it's the
improving
thing
her.
is that it may take a lot.
And
of
what does the last paragraph say? Last paragraph says, treating a condition that is continually applied under certain circumstances, for example, the infeasible condition of good care, blah, 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 has no effect as long as the circumstance continues.
It would be wasted effort.
So you find that even though you guys have done everything you can, for the most part, she's not getting better. However, I think that Thaddeus should roll an investigation, medicine check. Medicine or investigation, whichever one's higher.
Sugarberry says, "No, please, no spiders in the house."
Okay, medicine is
Hi, sugar, wherever you are.
plus
Yeah,
13.
yeah, she was.
You go to that little handy and click. That's
Hi,
not
sugar,
yours.
sugar.
Yeah.
Thaddeus.
She was suggesting a small sip
a
of holy
little
water.
hand, and it says your medicine is +9, and your investigation. Actually,
all
maybe
have
I'm
to
thinking
have
investigation in the old
very
D&D
safe,
way. Just add your +9.
I have a picture to show you.
I want
But
to make
sugar,
sure we're attention to Dave.
4 plus 9.
Ooh, 4 + 9.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. 4 + 9. You don't see any change in her condition. However, as you are examining her, all of a sudden her eyes flick open and she stares straight up. And her eyes are open, but apparently she can't see anything. Her pupils, her entire eyeballs are now
Black.
jet black.
Uh-oh.
oh, shit.
And she all of a sudden pulls in air and she's gurgling. It looks like she's going to attempt to vomit again. And as she starts to breathe happily, you hear this tiny little voice as she's panting, and she says, "Burn me."
Oh, pardon me.
You'll have to burn me.
Oh no.
Well, I got fireball. Let's get it over with.
Oh God.
Hmm.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
She's like a phoenix.
Where are we?
Hmm.
So she calls out to the group.
Yeah. We have gone through a portal. We are in a new land.
No, we have to go back. We have to go back. I have something for the queen. We have to go back to the tree.
We took your things. We took your things from the tree. We've got your box.
The wicker box?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the wicker box?
Mhm.
Is the mirror in the box?
The mirror's in the box.
You must give the mirror to the queen.
Where is
Why
the
don't
queen?
let's get you to the queen so you can give it to
It's
the
too
queen.
late for me. I'm going to die soon. You must burn me so I do not come back.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then she passes out.
Like that scene in Aliens where the girl says, "Kill me!" Ah, that would always disturb the heck out of me.
So, losing consciousness again, she is once again unconscious, and you see all of a sudden she arches, and as she arches, you see this just spasm of black mist almost come out of her body and go back in, and she loses 10 hit points.
oh, not good.
Poor girl.
Hmm.
Nice. This is for you.
What's this?
That's from. I want to see you blush.
Okay.
It's from my friend Sugar.
Okay, sugar. Good.
Yep.
Good heavens.
He's fuchsia.
Good heavens.
I don't want to know.
So
I
you
don't know.
guys have a decision to make. You're at
Yeah.
the portal. I'm going to zoom out for you so you can figure out what's going on.
Okay.
You are basically at the portal,
Mhm.
and you need here. We'll just bump up this, bump down this. By the way, at the bottom, I should mention this. You can see it on the screen here. You have a macro bar. Okay, this macro bar is almost of no use to you. The reason being is that most of the macros have to do with rolling dice, and they work for remote players. For us, we do all live stuff. I've got ones here that are useful to me, but you can always hit this down arrow and just collapse it because you're already limited in screen space, right? And you can also hit the arrow at the top to remove the navigation up and down if you want. Anyhow, this is what you're looking at. You are looking at the same thing. And remember, we talked about the fact that there are roads. I'll do a catch up for Thaddeus here on
For
the.
Raven.
I'm sorry, for Raven. I always get them confused. On the screen behind me, here's what you learned. This is prairie over here. This is mountain
You
over
and I
here.
get our own
This
confused
is a
all the
little
time.
lake. I should talk this one. This is a little lake that's over here, and these are trails. Clearly trails. And that's what you know. You need to decide now what direction you're going. Also, do you want to when we left off the game last time, it was twilight, because as you went through the portal, you saw the big floating ship and the sun was setting behind it.
Okay.
So right now I'm going to say, after your little encounter with the dying pixie and what she has just said to you, that right now it's 8 p.m.
Do we want to
I'm going to say 9 p.m. 9
spend the
p.m.
night, get our spells back? There are those of us who have spells to get back.
Didn't we just spend a night? Like we're waking up in the morning?
You
Like,
spent a night at the last portal. Remember? You
Okay.
stayed over so that you could find out the location, because Raven needed to see the constellations
Right.
to get his latitude and longitude.
Right.
So you spent the night, then you went through the Hall of Fire. You've come back out. It seems that things get a little wonky when you pass through a portal to the Hall of Fire and back out. Time is not working exactly the same way, and you can't tell how much time is you've gone a far ahead or a little bit. It's very different, because I would say you went into the Hall of Fire in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You were only in the Hall of Fire for half an hour, if that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You came out and it was twilight in this place.
Okay.
So
am,
you have a strange thing going on there as far as temporal time goes.
Interesting.
I'm
Lavinia?
really wondering what would happen in the Hall of Fire if we took her through the fire, it wouldn't burn her, but it might, I'm wondering if it might cleanse her.
Do you want to
Well, we've
roast a
already-
pixie?
We've been through the fire.
We've been through
You
the
you
fire.
took her through it twice.
Yeah, it didn't have an
I think
effect.
like she just wants to like lay the pixie down on a bowl of fire and see what happens.
Without, just about that fire, it doesn't burn you. That's the only thing. Okay.
Would holy water burn her?
It has not so far.
So actually, our very loyal, devoted follower Sugarberries has suggested, can we try a sip of holy water at a time? So,
You know what? Yes.
We're with
I
the
will-
stage where I don't know if it's going to make a coon's pinch a difference, but what do we got to lose? What have we got to lose?
what have we
I
got to
have-
lose? This
yes.
little
No, but
I
lady?
think we
but
need
I
to
mean-
try.
We need
Is
to
it
try.
worth a try?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do
Right.
it.
Do we want to try a sip at a time? Thank you, Sugar, for the
Who will
suggestion.
administer the holy water to the pixie?
Doctor? Well, or I can. She's
Or
already
the one
cradled
who
in
makes
my,
it, yeah.
my lap or whatever.
Lavinia makes it, so she could administer.
So who is it? Who's administering it? Roll medicine.
And you could add a little blessing.
So remember, you
Extra
can easily
blessing,
find
please.
your medicine by clicking on your sheet and looking at the little hand, and medicine's on the right side. It's the fourth one down.
Okay, now I've lost it.
My
Medicine's right there.
my medicine is +9.
My medicine's +11.
Okay, go go for it.
I think so. Yeah.
Because she's a cleric, she gets
Plus
that boost.
11.
Oh, of course.
Oh, and you
14
rolled a
plus-
14.
14 plus
14 plus 11.
11 is 25.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
You administer the holy water to her. She chokes a little bit of it down. She spits up the rest, and you notice that the what she has spit up is discolored and smoky. And she tosses and turns, and clearly she's in pain. It's as though there's a war going on between the holy power and the void power that is consuming
We're
her.
going to give her a little bit more.
Try more? Yeah.
Try more. See if she can spit the evil out.
So am I rolling?
Roll again.
Could we also put a poultice
13
on her
plus
eyes?
11.
13 plus 11.
So
You see no
24.
difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see no difference. And there's no point in rolling further because nothing is going to change
Mm.
her current condition.
Oh, hi, Lara.
You guys have been working on her for 2 days now?
Yeah.
3?
Trying to keep her alive for
Just trying
like
to keep
3
her
days
stable
in
and
a
alive
row.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
Is she diminished in ability now that you can use the stabilize?
That's a good question to ask the dungeon master.
Nope,
Or-
nothing you do will make any difference now. She has gone beyond the
She-
point. It's an inevitable decline that she's going to continue for the next 24 hours.
What?
At what point does she get to the point where Lavinia can use the spell that takes her
None.
back from death's door?
For her, none.
Well,
In the condition she's
I have a
in.
question. If we do grant her wish and burn her, can you capture her spirit?
She has to be in corporeal spirit before that.
Okay.
So it only works on incorporeal. It only works on ghosts. Okay.
Ghost.
So she's not a ghost. She's a pixie. So her spirit, her soul, whatever happens to it's going to happen to it.
I guess it
Will
depends
her will her soul become a ghost though?
if she has a
That you don't know.
business. We
You
don't
do know, based on your experience with the undead so far, that when ghoul disease runs its course and they die, the next midnight they rise as a ghoul.
Mm.
At which point, then I'm in my committed mode to destroying her. Right?
But at this point, she's not a ghoul, and
That-
so that's
no.
heartbreaking.
No, I
right?
know. It's driving me
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. That's the real dilemma we're facing.
I mean, I've done a whole lot of prayer to Pharasma.
Oh, good point. but I don't think she's conscious. Sugarberry says maybe we should find out what the mirror is for before she passes, but she's not conscious. At
She's
the
not
moment.
conscious.
So there's no way of finding out what the
Wait.
mirror is.
Well, the queen would know.
What? Oh yeah, you just got slap her. My sister, my daughter, my sister, my daughter.
I dare say the queen would know.
There you go.
I imagine that the queen would know.
Well, the queen will know, but is the queen
But-
back in the other
but-
side of the portal?
And how are
go
we
back where it
presenting
was.
this mirror to the queen? Is it like in a positive or a negative sort of circumstance?
I think we're presenting with the mirror with a question.
I think once we get there and we see the queen, we will know what we're
But I
doing.
think we'll know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be obvious what the protocol is.
Okay,
Okay?
here's an idea.
Yeah.
I think that
Here's
you
an
have
idea.
got 3 minutes on your timer to resolve what you're doing before events take other course. Starting now.
Okay.
To let go of the moral dilemma whatsoever. Let's just ditch her and take off.
We can't just ditch her. Either we need to finish her in such a way that she will not come back as
Stuff her in the bag of holding and let her suffocate.
I suggest we take her to the queen.
Yeah,
we don't know where
She
the
will
queen
be-
is.
She
No.
will be a complete ghoul by the time we get her to the queen. She
Yeah.
only has hours.
Well, I think fireballing her may be the only, if it's quick and
I
painless.
But if she rolls a fortitude DC 15, she might be able to save herself from further effects.
Do you have a benevolent poison of some sort?
how do you know this?
A long
Well,
Because I
it's
have
the
arcana.
spell.
no.
yes.
Okay.
Do we
Okay.
have some sort of compassionate potion that just puts someone to sleep?
I don't think you do, no.
No, I don't think we do.
I wish we did.
Yeah.
I hate to say it,
Just
but I
like
think we
this.
are going to have to burn her just to prevent her from coming back.
I would say a quick stab to the temple and then burn her. Ever the practical man.
Wow.
All right. This is
Well, okay, look at she's like this 3-foot tall little pixie. We can tie her up. If she turns into a ghoul, at least she's not going to do anything because we can carry her like a handbag.
There's
Right?
an idea.
She can bite us
Well,
and
we'll
inflict
gag
the
her.
same
too.
thing on us.
You guys.
We can gag her.
Okay.
Let's find her and gag her and bring her to the queen.
Yes. Well, that's what I think.
Wrap her up like a burrito and take her to
Maybe,
the queen.
maybe the queen has an elixir of.
Well, don't you have that chain? What does it do?
undeadedness.
What does this chain do?
Capture spirits.
It only works on the incorporeal.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
incorporeal beings.
I'm sorry, I just got really emotional. I thought we were just about to euthanize my sister.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay,
Okay,
let's,
we have 42 seconds
let's
left
burrito
before the
her
world
and take her
explodes.
with. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
Hog
All in
tying and
favor.
gagging.
Hog time
Let's go.
burrito.
Okay.
Well, it buys us a few more minutes.
Let's go. And then we'll go down off of this mountain and go, I'm thinking southwest.
Okay. Sorry, we're at the place. We're back at the place where we found the fairy, right?
No.
No, we're at the northern. So there was two
J, journal.
two portals. Two portals.
Yep.
There,
Is it up on the back
and,
screen?
We came,
Okay.
The original one that we came up on was
Give me the
lower
adventure
part
screen on
of
the
Fae
stream,
world.
please. So, where you found her
Is that
was
southern portal?
where this little hand is, just
Yeah.
below this portal.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was fire surrounding this forest was on fire on this edge. Because quite obviously, this is how far the power of Yago's forces has spread.
Yeah.
As they are now burning the forests that are the outlying settlements
Mhm.
south of the Feywood. Okay.
And we were informed that the other portal is far north of that position.
You went back in there. You came out. Your best guess is that you are somewhere in this area, but you will not know for sure until you
You use
Uh,
the tool.
use Nav to try and figure it out.
But what you've garnered from looking at the surroundings is that we are bordering the plains and a
Forest
lake
and a lake.
and the forest.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have any idea where the queen is of the fairy world.
But I have an opinion on that one. I would say, venture a guess, that it's in between our northern position and our previous position because it can't be that far from the Pixie.
I say go for that green tree on the map.
Well, yeah, that
pretty
building or
promising.
structure looks like a structure.
The structure of the green tree says Elfhame.
Yeah.
Elphame.
The home of the elves.
It looks like the Statue of Liberty from this angle.
Yeah.
It really does.
It fell
actually.
down.
I guess
It's on
it kind
fire.
of does look
Okay,
a little
let's
like
do
the
that.
Statue of
Let's go to Elfhame if we can.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, so that means south.
so we're at the North Portal now.
Thank you
No,
for
we're not the North
mutually
Pole, but
deciding
we're
not
North
to
Portal.
kill our friends,
Portal.
you guys.
It's the
Yeah.
North Pole.
Okay, so let's take the
she's got
handbag
it now.
ferry
Yeah.
and be on
Yep.
our way.
Handbag
That's what I'm
ferry
saying,
and
it
go
bought us
south.
a little bit of time.
You have decided that you're going to go south.
Yeah.
So you are currently here. Below you, it looks like there is this trail. You should please give me the other screen so the people at home can see what the hell we're talking about. It looks like you've got an option to go south to go on this trail. There's a small body of water which you know is a lake from when the clouds cleared that stretches from this point right here all along from the straight very southern point of the peak all along to the eastern point of the peak. So you're going to have to go around that.
As we do not have a foldable boat in our
As
bag
you
of
don't
holding,
have a foldable boat.
we're gonna have to do it by foot.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so you bind this little pixie with whose rope? What rope? What are we using?
We are rolling her up in fabric, and we have do we still have the sail, or do we still have one of the tents?
No, one of the tents is lost
Okay.
forever.
And
You had a second tent.
I still have one animal hide.
I don't want to wrap her up in anything that we're going to be using again because
Okay. I also have some cloth strips and some leather straps.
Okay, so you're saying basically as you said, you're going to burrito her. You're going to roll her up in one of those things, and you're going to tie it up so that she can't be hurt by the bounds.
Do we still have excess cloth from the hot air balloon?
I think
I
we
don't know
used
if you
most
have
of that
any,
up.
but-
That was a silk
Yeah.
of some sort.
And for her mouth?
And for her mouth, I think the best and most prudent thing would be
A leather strap.
a leather strap and a ball gag.
I don't have a
Oh.
ball.
She says, "Who?"
This is like so
Who's got a
uncomfortable.
ball? Who's got one of those?
We're going to assume you use a little leather strap to gag her so
Something
that she can't bite through it or bite anybody because of
One
it.
of Thaddeus' socks.
And she's unconscious anyways, and it looks like she's declining. And we continue
Are we
on.
still trying to, like, despite knowing that she's going to turn absolutely evil on us, are we still going to do the compassionate thing and still try to keep her alive and comfortable?
As long as we can.
Sure.
But comfortable is one thing. Bound so that she can't bite us. That's
No,
the
no,
other.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, that's
Yeah.
a necessity.
Yeah.
Because we know how she's turning.
Right.
But at the same time, like, as, like, a compassionate human being
Yeah, we're gonna keep her alive as best we can.
Keep her alive as best we can as a burrito.
and
Okay.
comfortable health-wise.
So are you descending from the
Yes.
pinnacle? You descend from
Go
the
down.
pinnacle. Which path are you going to descend to? The western one or the southwestern one? Those are the two
Southwestern.
closest paths to the destination you've mentioned.
Yes.
Southwestern sounds good.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
we're going to assume that you are all heading down here.
You know,
Sugar wanted to burn the pixie.
it just occurred to me we could just pull her teeth out and then she can't bite anybody,
Wow.
right?
Do you have any
You're
dentist tools?
terrible.
Do you have a pair
I
of
don't.
pliers?
Maybe our
Oh,
How are you going to get a grip
wow.
on those teeth?
our medicine guy
So the
might.
leatherworking tools
I
might do it, but I
I do have them, but I don't want to do that.
no, I don't.
Thaddeus
know
is
if they did.
thinking about
got
it.
upset at me when I was like, "Hey, let's cut off her foot to free her from the burning tree."
Well, things change.
Okay, so we're climbing down.
You're saying I got to make her a
path.
little
She is no
Hannibal
longer
Lecter mask
herself.
out of leather with the little.
She's no longer the pixie, and
Roll to see how well the traveling goes.
Okay,
All of
Great,
us?
everybody.
all of us.
No, I'm going to say in this case, we're just going to have the person who's in front doing the tracking, which is going to be Percy.
Okay.
Simpler if he does it.
17.
Nice.
17. You end up passing what's left of the day, which is an hour, without any thing going on, and all of a sudden night begins to fall.
Oh.
You're on the little trail. You are headed south,
Okay.
and night is falling.
So now you can get a fix on the stars, or no?
Yes, once it's
Okay.
dark enough.
I also want to know what phase the moon is in. If time is
What phase is the moon? This is something I'm going to have to figure out. So
'Cause
we're going
I
to
don't-
roll
Wearing
for
your
it.
I guess
moon
the
phase
question-
chainmail?
no, it's
No.
because I have to be back in 12 full moons.
Oh, right, that too.
How many phases does
Mr.
the moon have?
Married person.
It has, well, it's continuous change.
w-
So 30,
mm.
30 days of minor changes as the moon moves around.
I'd say like 5 major.
Yeah.
So you've got like your zero, no moon.
So for the game, I'm going to have to work out a system for this for Thaddeus. However, I'm going to say right now that since you guys left Bimnus, the
Yep.
merfolk city, it's only been like 4 days.
Okay,
Okay.
just checking.
I'd say
I would
4
say
days,
that.
right?
So the moon is
Yeah,
still
it's not been
mostly
very long.
full. Yeah.
So
Because you used the portal to jump all the way these 2 places.
Yes, but
You haven't done any land travel hardly at all.
But we also don't
but
know
time has been
how much
altered, so we need to check.
exactly, like
Yeah.
what happens to time when we're going through these portals.
I have a feeling that I don't know whether I'm speaking out of turn, but I feel it's just days with hours. So we probably passed a day within the 30 minutes that we were.
So are you continuing walking along
Let's go.
after 11 p.m. or are you going to stop?
I think we're going to stop and pitch camp at the bottom of the mountain.
You guys are now an hour away from the pinnacle, so
Okay.
it's receded into, the darkness north of you as you have continued south.
That sounds ominous.
So
I will
let's,
take the first
But-
watch.
Let's
Okay.
move off of the
I'll take
path
second.
and
Yeah, let's move off of the path. I don't know if that's a very deep forest, but we could probably find some concealment within it.
Okay, so you
Move a
move
free-
off of the
free
path.
few-
We're just going to
few
use
trees
this
in.
piece of the map right while we're still doing this. We're just going to go like this. And I'm not going to switch to load to a new map yet. It's not worth it for this little bit of stuff that's happening.
Okay.
Hey.
And
how do I-
you're still researching the cure, and
Yes.
you're making
I
more
will
holy
spend
water.
my watch working on the zombie tissue to see if I can extract something for an antitoxin. It may
Yes,
take several
Lavinia?
days.
It may. Lavinia, you went
You know me. I would like to make some more holy water, however, with the new crafting system that requires stuff, or for the time being, can I just make some more holy water?
The issue that you guys are going to have with your holy water is how many glass vessels you have,
Mhm.
or ceramic.
I assume that every time we use our holy water, we don't just like dispose of the vessel.
Depends if you throw it as one of the flasks that's a bomb.
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah.
dumped mine.
And I think the last time we used it, we sprayed it, so we held on to the bottle and sprayed it like
Right.
that.
Molotov
So-
cocktail is a different story.
The
You
Molotov
will-
cocktail is absolutely different.
You will see now that I'll give you a little hold on, in under items, and you may not be able to see this on your sheets yet. I've got to work out a solution for that, but under gathering for items, there are now these things that exist: empty glass bottles, empty glass flasks, empty glass vials. Okay, a bottle is 24 ounces, a flask is 12, and a vial is 4. Empty jug is 48, and they're ceramic. And then also there's jugs of water and small empty jugs. These are things you'll need for crafting. So when you are looking in your inventories, look for those things, and you can click the description on them to figure out how much you need and which one you need for which spell, which recipe. Okay, because if you look in your inventory, you may tell you that you got enough supplies to make
Which
3
will
holy waters
take
right
a lot
now.
more time than we have right now. It will block.
Right now it's 11:30 at night. Are you guys going to do a fire with your camp?
1 second before asking that question, we do actually have a response from chat that says the 8 lunar phases are in order: new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. The cycle repeats once a month every 29.5 days.
Okay, so we're going to go with 30 days, and that's 30 divided by 8. Fine. So I will figure
3-ish.
that out.
3.75.
Yeah. And then we'll say, okay, this is this moon, this is this moon, this is this moon, that kind of thing.
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thanks for that help.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's
Sugar.
awesome. Good to know.
Sugar be doing the math.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Campfire, yes, no.
Yes.
No.
We're near the land of the elves. I think we should risk it.
How warm is it? How warm is it out?
Right now, the temperature where you are at, because it's the forest, but it still seems to be a fairly warm time. Also, temperatures tend to be a lot more moderate in the central areas of Era, not the northern. But I'm going to say that right now, in Celsius, sorry for everybody in America, too bad. In Celsius, this is the problem with being a Canadian. We think in pounds.
There is no problem
and then
with
we
being a
think in
Canadian.
Celsius, and then we think in kilometers.
And the really
And
funny
then
thing
we-
is distances.
And we measure in feet.
hours.
Yeah, how long is
Distance.
it?
And we
Distances are
refer
out.
to a few clicks away.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's right.
I've got a hilarious meme. Remind me to send you.
We measure in feet and we think in pounds,
Mhm.
but when it comes to temperature, it's all Celsius. So I'm
No,
gonna
not
say-
always. The oven goes by Fahrenheit.
Right, the oven goes by
Yeah,
Fahrenheit.
the ovens
That's
are all
true.
made in America.
Okay, sorry, I've lost track of why we're talking about this. What's
We're
the
seeing
point?
how warm it is because are we lighting a fire or not? So like,
It
do
is
we want to
15
draw
degrees.
attention? So I
We're
think
going
that
back
that's,
to whether
I
it's a
think
good
that
idea.
that's
Celsius.
warm enough
Okay,
for us to not need a fire
Okay,
personally.
no
We'll just
fire.
use-
All in
We'll
favor?
just use shared body warmth.
That too. Everyone snuggle, cuddle.
You know what? It sounds like that's funny here, but I mean, in my younger time when I was Joe Camper and Joe Outdoorsman and Joe Survival, I took survival courses, 5-6 day survival courses. And believe me, when it is the northern boreal forest north of Jasper and it is July, it is still damn cold. And yeah, body warmth is a thing. So you are figuring out how to make your sleeping bag be as close to the person beside you and then the next person, and you are literally little burritos all stuck together to collect your warmth. Nobody goes out and sleeps in a separate tent by
Oh, yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
It is too cold.
And like that's where hashtag no homo came from.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Oh,
thanks for sharing. I didn't need to know.
that,
You
I-
guys have never
We didn't
you
need
guys
to know.
have never heard
Yeah.
that before?
No, we-
No, when you say something that sounds kind of gay, you're like hashtag no homo.
Hashtag.
Like,
Good comment, Sugarberries, about who sleeps on the ends. You're right. Who sleeps on the ends? It's always colder. The other thing is that, and I was 24 at the time. I had a survival instructor. I was gullible. He talked me into doing a 5-day course without a sleeping bag, just a wool blanket. And I was like, okay, I'll do this to learn because it's all about learning. Me and another guy out of like the 10 people that were there. And so we had a camp together, built our own lean-to and stuff like that. And you've got to have a fire all night long. You got to make sure that fire is reflecting heat into your lean-to. You sleep with your legs on top of each other because one's sticking out this end and the other sticking out. You sleep with your legs on top of each other because that is the place you need the shared warmth the most so that your legs don't freeze up on you in the night.
makes sense. You have more heat naturally in your core,
Yeah.
so your limbs would be colder.
And I don't recommend that with just a wool blanket. Don't do it. It was rough. That was one of the roughest courses I ever did. Okay.
So
back
in answer to
you
your
guys staying
question,
here.
then no fire.
No fire?
Well, we have to decide. Do we want a fire or not?
I think everyone except for you agreed no fire.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
don't
Okay,
need a
then
fire.
we
no
collectively
fire.
agree no fire.
Who's on watch?
I'll be
take
second
first.
watch. He was first.
Oh,
Thaddeus is
alright.
taking first watch. Everybody settles down. Thaddeus, roll for your watch to see if anything happens. Or 4 happens.
Uh-oh.
Thaddeus begins to nod off on his watch.
Uh-oh.
He's very tired.
It's not a very good rogue tonight.
He jolts awake,
He's a great rogue.
and as he jolts awake, and now it's 2 a.m, at the end of his watch, he's actually gone overwatch a little bit. He hears tinkling and jingling and low guttural the path.
It's Overwatch's Zenyatta.
It's a good thing we didn't camp on the path.
Good thing we didn't light a fire.
And fortunately, they are moving away. They seem to have passed by from the north, heading south. And as he listens to the last shreds of it, the voices sound very, like I say, very low guttural. Roll to see if you can recognize what language it might have been.
8.
8. The language is not Dwarvish. It's not Latin. I mean, it's not Elvish. Okay, it's Dwarvish. I screwed that up. I was going to say it's not Latin. It's not Elvish. But it is Dwarvish.
Which we've heard before. So it would
That's
make
why he
sense that would
recognized it.
recognize it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. It had to be a language he'd recognized before I would allow that. So, nothing else happens on your watch, which is almost already over. Who's taking over next?
Wakey.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
Nat 20.
that even
After
mean?
hearing the report from Thaddeus about something on the road, you listen acutely, especially with your tiger senses,
Tiger sense. Yeah.
and you do not hear anything. Nothing else passes by anywhere near you.
Okay.
You have a completely uneventful watch. Who's taking last watch? Third watch tonight.
I can take a watch, and then while I'm doing that, I can try and triangulate our position.
She's already-
That is fine.
This is something that Raven could do. He could do
Okay.
a watch to try and triangulate. However, is the sky clear? Yes, you're lucky. The sky's clear.
Nice.
Okay, so the sky is cleared off. You're able
And
to take a watch.
How often does he
Oh.
actually volunteer to take a watch anyways? Come on.
Almost never.
Yeah.
He's a squishy wizard. He
It's
needs
because
to sleep.
he's afraid
Here,
of.
I forgot to
being
do
squished
this
by things.
cool thing. It got
it's
dark.
nighttime.
It's
And
nighttime.
while I'm
Oh.
I don't have control of our big globe
Sexy.
light, but nighttime on the screen now.
I'm going to ask my my familiar Drema to help me stay awake
Okay.
Peck, peck,
and kind of
peck,
like
peck.
scout around.
Heck you in the
Okay,
temple.
I rolled an 8 plus my perception for 12, so 20.
Okay, and now roll a DC for the nav to see if over the course of your
Okay.
watch you're able to finally figure out before dawn what the constellations say.
Is that a crafting check as well?
I'm going to say it's survival.
Oh, too bad. I'm not
See, I
trained
would
in
have thought there was
survival.
perception. Or
You know what? Hold on. Let me look at.
12 at survival.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you had a good survival.
Okay. Well, and I rolled a 9 plus 12 is 21.
Because a component of survival is navigation, an
Right.
important component.
oh, okay.
So what'd you roll?
That makes sense.
9 plus 12 is 21.
You have no problem this time establishing that on our handy new simple quest journal. You are very clearly. Where is my pins? Can I just make one by going like this? Yes, I can. Let's go down here and make a pin. Boop. And save that. You are there.
Oh shit! Wait, pardon me, but we're so close to
Way closer than I
where
thought.
we would like to.
Yeah, we were trying to
go
get
to.
Elfhame. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's good. We just keep going south to get to Elfhame, guys.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where
Good
you are.
job.
Ka-chow!
Now,
So
to
I
give
even stayed
you
awake.
some perspective on how close you think you are, let's pan the map over let's have a look at your previous travels and how long they took from here
I
to
remember
here
Brown
to
did.
here to here to here to here. That was a long time. Okay, so this being close, if you were to estimate this in, say, travel days
2 weeks.
to where you wanted to go, you're looking at 2 weeks for sure.
All right.
That's okay.
If we crash some horses, you know.
I mean, this is, that's like the size of the continental United States. So yeah, that's a ways. And you're on foot.
Or a mammoth.
Yes, something that Raven wouldn't know is that Lavinia identified the Little Wonders figurine she has, and it's a big ass mammoth that she can use 4 times a month.
Really?
We can ride it. We can ride the frickin' mammoth.
You can use it for carrying stuff, or you
So-
can use it for transport.
I would like to, once we've had our sleep and I've regained, I've gained my
sleeping.
spells back. And everybody.
Oh, we're just on the third watch at the moment.
And
Oh, right. I
Raven,
haven't. No.
I was
yeah,
going
no.
to give you my cat.
I think
figure.
We're only going to
Raven
need
does
3.
three
We're going to do
watches.
3 4-hour watches.
Because
It's just easier for me to only have 3 people roll too.
Yeah, and I was going to give Raven my cat figure to identify.
Okay.
So, Wondrous figurine Marble Mastodon says that when you activate it, it's 24 hours, as long as he's used as a beast of burden or for transport.
And it can only be called upon 4 times per month?
4 times a month.
Oh.
Well, that could be 4
That's
days in a
that's
row.
Once a week.
Yeah, and that's still going to be cutting, hopefully would cut some time off of our travels.
Well,
And he's active for how long once activated?
24
24
hours.
hours.
24 hours.
okay.
That's a huge
Chunk.
trek of time out of our 2
Frickin'
weeks.
ridiculous. You're level 5 players and you have a frickin' mastodon to ride around.
Well,
4 times a month for a whole day.
plus,
Oh
we
my
can
God, you're spoiled.
we can sleep on it while it keeps walking, so
Yeah.
we don't need to. We don't
That
need
too.
to.
But I mean, like,
stop for
like,
the night.
we're
Somebody's
just-
a heavy sleeper.
Okay,
Wow.
this mastodon, by the way,
You rolled it too. What are you talking about?
this mastodon, just to clarify, does not seem to have any kind of auto cruise controls attached to it. So somebody's got to drive it. Okay.
Wow. We can take turns.
Oh. Someone has a whip.
Yeah, you're the animal handler.
You're the bondage girl.
Okay, so
Wow.
what are we doing here?
Who's blushing now?
Who's the one that brought up the ball gag, Mr. Percy boy?
You know.
All right. So,
I'm just
that
saying, like,
is-
I've got some chains and whips and
that's true. Actually, you do.
Well, we could also see
Whatnot.
what sort of tack. Yeah,
Do you
that's
care
one
that you
comes
now
with.
know where you are? What do you
And-
want to do? It's morning. Did
And-
everybody?
and
get
I
their
could craft
spell
something
slots?
at
what's
11.
going
I
on
need
is,
my
is
spell
that,
slot.
is
Yeah,
that,
let's-
Aren't those mine?
Lavinia would
They're
like
yours,
to summon
but
us a
some of hers
mastodon,
will be
and
in
we're
there.
gonna march south.
I need a
believe.
container. I'm going to find a container that I'm going to put here that I put spell slots in for the daily use.
I should
because
be back at least.
They keep on getting mixed up with our dice trays.
I think this is the rest of mine are correct.
Yeah, they
Just
should be.
count up. I know you have 2 level 3s or 3 level 3s.
I have 3 threes,
level
and
threes.
4 of the others.
Yeah, okay. So just make
So
sure
I'm
you
good.
got the right number, and if you
Did-
have fine spares, give them back to me.
So
Okay.
did we agree on trying to summon a mastodon?
Well,
and,
let's-
and
First of all, let's
ride
get the
south?
sun. Let's wait till the sun comes up
I'm so
and
excited.
plot our course.
To explain to the people at home, we use poker chips as our spell slots. Oh,
Oh, geez, you dumped them all over.
they're all numbered. So this is a level 3 spell. This is a level 1 spell. And when these guys cast a spell, we use that to track how many they use per day, and then they get it back when they have a long rest.
We're currently simulating falling.
Yeah, I accidentally hit the little thing,
Okay.
so we're going to close that off.
I suggest we check on the status of our burrito fairy and see how she's doing.
Doctor, sir?
Her pulse is almost imperceptible, and her breathing is extremely slow. She is fading before your eyes.
Should we try some more holy
Is
water?
she dead enough yet.
Well,
No, it's I know it sounds terrible, but there's
She's just in the dead zone. That's
yeah,
all.
he keeps saying that won't work on her.
Or the dead space.
yes.
There's nothing
She
we
has
can.
to
Was that a yet or was that a permanently? I wouldn't be able to.
The whole
use that.
dying thing applies to player characters. It does not apply to NPCs.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
So this is an
Or
NPC.
I would maybe rule in the future that it will apply to NPCs, but not NPCs that are in this state, because this is ghoul disease. The whole thing that is happening to this world is that they're being ravaged by this thing that they can't counter, right? That's the problem with something
For
that's
this
run
particular
away.
condition, I would say that death would
Are we
be.
like in The Walking Dead right now, and we're gonna start
Well,
eating
it's
people?
it's
and
not
whatnot?
that it's not that bad, but yeah, I mean
It is
you
kind
know-
of the mammoth of the room. You know.
Okay, so shall we try some more holy water just to see? We got
I don't
nothing
think
to
it's
lose.
going to hurt to.
well, I feel like it's going to be a waste, but we might as well hydrate her. And like the holiest of hydrations, there's never bad.
The holy agony.
The humane thing to do would be to put her out of her suffering.
Yes. And end it.
Stop it! I can't. I honestly can't. As a hunter, as a woman who literally shoots people for a living, I cannot kill this innocent being. I can't.
I can. What else are we going to do? She's going to turn into a ghoul.
She's 3 feet tall.
The wizard is a
Okay,
little
well,
bit
yeah,
higher.
Well,
Rick
she
on
could be a
this.
3-foot tall ghoul who can bite us and turn us
Yes.
into ghouls.
So
And eventually it will reach a survival perspective. And I know you've let yourself get all wrapped up emotionally with this thing, but this
The
is
diminutive
cute,
damsel in
sweet.
distress.
okay, well let's try the
go.
holy water, and then
Yeah,
if
let's
that
do
doesn't
the
work,
water.
then we'll make the next choice. But we got to move
Because
ahead.
maybe once we get to the queen may have. Who knows?
Well, let's
We don't
keep,
know.
Keep
The-
going.
The,
keep
the
going.
queen may already have an
Okay,
elixir
so
of sorts.
tell-
to...
Bing.
Okay,
I know that was really exciting, wasn't it?
that was your holy water.
Okay, so you attempted to use holy water, and you were barely able to get a sip into her. She's so unresponsive. You also notice that her skin is getting gray now, as opposed to the pinkish color it had before. The black veins and the gray skin show that she's probably 12 hours from death.
Her greatest
Yeah.
wish is not that she die and not be reborn.
That was her
Right.
wish.
That is her wish.
As a ghoul.
So maybe
She
maybe
literally
we sent
said,
Josephine to get some wood and
Burn me.
you'll
Yeah.
know.
well, I have a
That
suggestion.
was awesome, sugarberries. That was
That's
really
right.
good.
Now, she is, we're in a place where our clerics, if they were high enough, and we might find some that we can use, can do a resurrection spell. So I bring that as an option that perhaps we can find someone that can bring her back.
But I mean, if we've got an undead chomping at her bandages,
Yeah.
can she be resurrected from that state?
I don't know. I think we just have to, cause her to not be in that state.
Well, okay, because that's what I was discussing with Thaddeus.
Okay.
I would say you've got not enough experience with this part. You fought the undead, but not enough experience with either preventing or resurrecting the undead to be able to establish this. There are many people who've got a lot more experience because they've been involved in this epic battle for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
They will know if you ever find any of them that you can ask.
"Hi, Frosty, happy birthday." 2 days
Yay,
ago,
Frosty.
but we're still celebrating your birthday.
It's birthday
Yay,
week.
yay!
Okay, so you now know where you are. And it is, look at this. Morning has broken. Bing! Look at that. It's
Also
morning.
9:22, Dave.
Look how fast it happened.
Blackbird.
It's 9:22. We are going to take a break, and then you guys can continue your arguing to decide how many more feet you're going to move today.
I'm assuming though that once we've got our mastodon up and running, we can.
Yeah, we're gonna.
That's
we're-
true.
we're gonna-
I
we're gonna
will
mastodon
say
it
that
out
your
of here.
mastodon speed is
Yeah.
going to be twice your land
I think a
speed.
mastodon can travel 40 kilometers an hour he's just
Yeah, at
walking
like
speed.
a slow.
That's a
I'll figure it out. I'm going to actually do some research.
Lumbering pace.
And
You're gonna.
Human
research-
beings-
I am going to
research the speed
Google
of a mastodon.
how far. I'm going to Google how far an elephant will travel in a day,
Oh, okay.
and that's what you get.
Okay.
All I know
Right.
is that an elephant in motion stays in motion.
An elephant
This,
in motion.
no, but this is really true. Traveling with grandma, I know this. An elephant in motion stays in motion. It will plow right through things. It won't.
Yeah.
It won't stop. It will just keep on going.
It has a mission and it
Yeah.
goes.
See, oh, we don't have the elephant.
Yeah, we
anymore.
don't. That's
Okay, so here we go. We are going to go for break.
Okay.
And right now, our time, Mountain Standard Time, it is
9:24.
9:24. I'm going to say 9:25, which means we are going to be back at 9:35. We'll be here, 9:35.
11-minute
then.
break. Great.
Okay, we are back. And there we go. I'm going to do the clacker, and then we got a couple of cool things to show you before we get started. We're off on a little tangent again, of course, like always. But here we go. Okay, let me show you. Remember last week, Raven was not here, and he was not here because this is a busy time of year. He's doing a lot of work. He is a balloon artist, true artist. He does big decor. I'm a balloon twister. I like to do small stuff. He's agreed to let me show you this video we've just been passing around on his phone. This is from this weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Where is it?
you have the best camera, Dave. If you
I know.
can play
Here,
it.
you pass it up to me and I'll, let's see. Is it playing? Here we go. Check this out. Huh?
That's made out of balloons.
That's made out of balloons because he's a balloon artist. He specializes in balloon decor and costumes.
And that is not Mr. Potato Head. That's a facsimile. Mr. Potato Head is a trademark of the
This
Neluthel
is
Corporation.
Mr. Yam Head.
Oh,
Mr. Yam Head is what this is. We found a yam that was just the right shape to do it.
Because I am what I am.
this is
Hey,
Mr.
Yam.
Spudwinski.
Pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty cool stuff.
Oh, good.
Hey, that works out pretty good holding up the phone to the camera, huh? There,
That's
okay.
great. That's
Like you
great.
all,
Here we go.
like he made that thing out of balloons.
That's crazy fun.
Yeah.
Insane, amazing.
In the theme of celebrating artistry, these guys haven't seen these, but I got to show them to you as well. I don't know if you guys know it, but our amazing rogue medical man Thaddeus, Ian Little, he's the one who paints our minis for us. And we have a lot of minis, lots and lots and lots of minis. Most of them are unpainted, and he has been willing to help out and do a bunch of painting. And I'm going to show you one of the recent batches that he finished off. These are not minis that you're going to see in the near future in the campaign, but maybe in the far future of the campaign. Want you to have a look at these. I'm going to see if that can.
Oh yeah, that looks terrific.
Beautiful.
We're
Absolutely
eventually going to
gorgeous.
get a mini camera. So while Amanda is our chat master, Thaddeus, Ian is our mini master by a long shot. That's one. Here, I'm going to pass these around so you guys can see. But look. We have a whole collection that he has done. I'm trying to get it to zoom in so you can see. Oh, I got him backwards. Let me turn him around.
The amount of time and attention spent.
And the color that he chooses.
Detail.
I
is so
love
beautiful.
the red that you made. These are orcs, big orcs.
Ian, sometime could you do a video of yourself painting?
Check
please?
these guys out. Yeah, someday we'll try and take the camera over and do a video.
Even if it's just for a few moments.
Let me
like
show
just
you
a
as soon as the
video.
camera focuses in. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. You can do it.
Maybe move
Closer.
towards the center of the frame. One of them has to be at the center of the frame. Yeah. Where the
Is he giving up
And
on
then
me?
just, like,
I don't know,
twice the
man.
paint.
Autofocus
There we go.
kicks in occasionally.
It's 3D House of Horrors.
The House of Horrors.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, I forgot.
No, that's good. How tiny must your brush be to paint the
Like
tiny
2-3 hairs.
metallic details of
Pretty incredible.
the? My goodness.
So my goal is, and it's always been a goal for months now, is to try and we'll permanently get a camera station eventually set up that we can switch to. And we'll have one of these little guys we put on a little turntable. And there won't be this issue with focus because, come on, baby, get that focus.
Dedicated macro lens.
Yes.
Ooh,
We're going to finish one last one. We're going to finish with this bad babe right here.
Oh yeah.
Check her out.
I'd tap
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. well,
Just
I need more.
fantastic artwork. So
My
a
goodness.
big,
I just cannot
Let's
get
have a
over the
360
attention to
view now.
detail.
Let's have a big
It's
round of applause
Woo, Ian.
for Ian
So good.
and all of his amazing artwork that he's done on these.
That is incredible. How long does it take you to?
for Raven?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I only work in like macro. I don't work in this scale. That's how long does it take you to paint a figure?
It
On average.
depends. Sometimes I will start with a color and do everything in that color, and then I'll move on to the next color. And so
Oh, I see.
it just depends.
Beautiful artistry, though. Really has got a
gorgeous
real
stuff.
talent for it.
However way you make the miracles happen, it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So
This is
where
incredible.
did these figures come from?
Oh my God! You just killed a perfectly
just
good
bring
orc. We'll see if he died. I don't know if he died. So that's a good question from Lavinia. Where do these figures come from? In the past, I have subscribed to and supported various miniature STL designers on Patreon. As a matter of fact, in the trailer for our video, we support 3 or 4 specific Patreon artists right now. And these were
She's beautiful.
designs that I 3D printed from the STL files that I purchased from as part of my membership supporting these Patreon artists.
And
That's where they came from.
Waiting for my Elegoo's Jupiter. They are on back order. The Elegoo Jupiter is one of the best printers available right now for 3D printing.
Rob is the one who's taken over the 3D printing for me as far as doing minis, which has been much appreciated. There's only so much any one of us can do. When that's up and running again, when he's got a 3D printer that's up and running, we will make some more of some specific things that we need. First thing that I want to do is let's get that Weird Tiger done.
Right. We want to get a weird
Because we want, and I think didn't I send you the file for it?
I don't believe you sent me that one yet.
All right, we're going to have to look and see if we can find the file.
I kind of want to just get like a porcelain kitty and just set it on there and be like,
Like a Hummel kitty.
Right now we have just kind of a little plastic.
A
Regular tiger.
The dollar,
no,
is that the
like-
dollar store tiger?
dollar store tiger. He's terrific.
Right now, Percy is a dollar store tiger
I have a dollar store tiger.
with a big dual pass grin on his face. That's good.
Got a little
Kind of looks like him. Yeah, no.
It's plain to see.
All right. Let's continue on. It is morning, and you are now decided that you are going to continue on southward.
Yeah.
You've got your spell slots. You've all recovered whatever hit points you may have missed. You can remember to click the little bed icon on
Is there
your
anybody who is
thing?
in need of healing at this point in time?
No.
Nope.
Your Pixie is now 12 hours from death, and it is up to you to decide what you're going to do.
in Josephine Smith style, I'm going to be
Hello.
obstreperous.
Oh,
And
fine.
stomp around a little bit and say in a stubborn manner, let's get this show on the road.
And I'm going to say to you in character, I think we may have time to honor her spirit and help it pass quietly into the other world.
God, you guys still want to euthanize her. And I'm just like, it's like one of those things, like, I know it has to be done, but I don't want any part of it.
But if we find her friends, her spirit may still abide around, could be drawn back. But
put
if
back
we
into
wait
the body.
now, she could become imperiling to all of us. We understand it is a
This
difficult
is
decision.
so difficult.
May
So
I
difficult.
suggest that we start by rounding up our mastodon?
Yep, let's get the mastodon up, and I'm going to get some ropes. We've got the climbing gear. I'm going to pull out some ropes, and we're going to tie.
I mean, the more action, and we might get some options that we don't
Yeah.
have right now.
And while you were discussing this in your morning preparations, all of a sudden you hear some sound on the road. And it sounds like somebody singing. Ooh, they're coming up from the south, headed north.
I'm going to undercover sneak up and see if I can get a closer look.
Okay, so
Miss Smith, would you like to?
Stealth.
whoever is
I will
walking
stealth
up the road is
this.
making no effort to be quiet. You're going to try and stealth. Go ahead and roll to see how you do. Oh, sorry about the back screen, guys. Here, I'll fix that up.
And now, direct from Google.
I am stealthing with the road.
Let's go back
Let's
to.
see how we do.
Okay, my stealth is plus 13.
Go ahead.
4 plus 13.
That's still okay.
And I rolled a 9.
You
and
guys
then
are already in the
would my
bush.
Stealth be?
So, Thaddeus, are you going to attempt to get a view of the road and see what's coming?
Yes.
All right. So, as Thaddeus creeps up and begins, you can hear the whatever is coming louder, and it is clearly somebody singing. As Thaddeus looks down the road from his position, this is what he sees.
Oh, he's adorable.
It's like those guys in the labyrinth that have their whole lives on their back.
He's walking up the road. He's just about past your position. And all of a sudden he stops and he turns around and he looks directly at Thaddeus and he says, "Ho, ho, ho, ho. Oh, there, no need to hide out, young'un. You can come out now. I could hear you folks talking and babbling and arguing away half an hour ago down the road."
You are very perceptive, sir. My name is Thaddeus
He stands-
Poindexter. This is my associate, Miss Smith.
Okay, so he sees the two of you come out.
Good
You
day,
show
sir.
yourselves.
Good day.
All right. And what about the rest of you? What are the rest of you
Well,
going to do?
I
There's
noticed
no-
that
Let's go back at camp.
well, I was working with Lavinia on fitting out the mammoth, but I could take a break and come talk to this guy. So
And do
Well-
you really want to? Because I feel like we're actually in combat right now.
Well, we haven't rolled
don't
for
jinx
initiative,
it.
So
No, he just said, "Who is here?" So I know.
Oh,
Yeah, but-
she's worried that I said that.
But
No.
he's been able to hear us. All of us.
us.
So he
So
knows
he
there's
knows
more than the
this-
two of you,
Yeah.
right?
Knows that
Clearly.
there's more.
But he looks at Thaddeus and he says, "By the way, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Monte, and I am known as Monte the Traveling Tinker.
Ah.
And I think I can guess at what you might be, you and all your companions. Looks like Wylders to me, and fresh off the portal, if I'm not mistaken."
Ooh.
Well, you are very perceptive, sir.
Well, I knows a bit about Wylders. I'm a Wilder myself, you know.
We can
Though
tell.
that was long, long time ago. And you realize that all of this time he's actually been speaking to you in English and not in Latin.
Oh.
So he clearly
okay,
has partly got your number anyways.
oh, he obviously looks like a
Says-
trader of some sort. So he's got something to trade.
Says, "Well, yes, matter of fact, you know, now I recalls it. I might have had a glimpse of you folks before. Was you down at the rendezvous
I
a
was-
few months back?
There we were.
We
Indeed
never
we were.
talked it, but I remember walking by some games, and I thought I saw some young gal shooting a gun at a duck or some such. And this looks
That would be
awful
Miss
like
Smith.
this young gal you got
That
here.
would be our Miss Smith. We're
That
very
would be
proud of
Miss
her
Smith, yeah.
prowess.
Well, now, what y'all doing in this part of the world, I be wondering. Now, don't tell me. I'll tell you what. Willing to make you a trade. Trading's what I do. Trading's what I love. And I'll trade you a story. Trade you tale, your tale, for a good one of mine.
Oh,
How
yes,
come
sir.
you to be in this bit of the country?
Information is very valuable, in my opinion.
Tale for a tale. That's Monty's motto, you
It
know.
has been a long and winding road.
You're
We
not-
have
you're
gone
not- You're
with
not
m-
even here.
Well,
It's
I
just-
said I was going to take a break.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
so he's come out.
You wandered up. You wandered
Okay,
up.
I'm going to take a break.
And I followed him.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
we're all here apparently. It's a squishy wizard.
Okay, so by the way,
Am I bringing my mastodon out?
let's get something sorted out for the maps. Let me see if I can find a good map for you guys to be walking in. Let's say that it is. This will have to do. This isn't an ideal map for this, but this will have to do. We're just going to take one of these paths. We're going to blow this way up. And I'm going to turn down that crazy music that's coming out of it. We're just going to blow it up. I'm going to ignore the crosshatch on this one. Oh, I always do it on my screen. It never does it on the game screen.
It is behind you.
We're going to go right about here. And here is... Where's he? Oh, we need to go to the book. Hey, give me 360. Or give me Dave view for a second. It's time to go to the book of the creatures of Era.
Book of the Creatures of Era.
Creatures of Era. First of all, we have to open it and close it. There we go. And now we're going to open it and see.
You didn't miss it.
And sure enough, if Monty ain't been hiding in the book for a while, you know, he's taken off his hat and pulled out his pipe as he talks to you. And sure enough, there he is.
Like Santa Claus.
He's being all a painted up, don't you know, by here. Well, he's having a hard time focusing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, focus me up, would
Zoom
you,
out a little bit
Beardies?
maybe or something. I don't know.
Have I not got it in the right place, do you think?
There he is.
There we go. Once again, painted by my good friend Ian Little, so that you can see he's got quite a pack on his back, does he? And we are going to put him on the screen, so we can go to the game screen and we'll get him right to where he's going to have to be. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to just go... And he is going to be here. You guys were parked a bit by a stream.
That pack, my goodness.
And you can guys position yourselves where you want to be on the screen.
Mm-hmm. This sounds like combat to me.
Wow.
Here's the thing. If I do combat every single time, then you'll always think there's combat. So I'm going to make sure I change it up sometimes. And also, this was my excuse to show off that really, really awesome mini.
It's super
That's a
rad.
great mini. It's terrific.
Okay, I'm backing up just a little bit, Peanut, please.
Now, as you were showing that, I'm going to put on the back screen a picture of Monty, so we've got a little bit of frame of reference. And there you go. Now you're talking to Monty, and you got nothing to fear from Monty as long as you're a good un. So I know you're a little uncomfortable. These be hard times, and sometimes the roads be mighty scary.
Well, we have been guests of puckwedgies and even mermaids, and we have been in a haunted castle. We have gone from the hills to the valleys. We have gone under the ground with the dwarves. We have been captured by witches, and we've been surrounded by tree monsters, and everything has in between has happened to us. Not only that, we were guests of a frog people, and they enchanted us so that we had to help them get married. It was quite the adventure. And then we climbed to the top of a finger of fire in the middle of the plains.
Well, now that sounds like years of adventure all crammed in to one quick little bit, and not one bit of it makes a true tale. It sounds like 40 tales in one, and I'd like one good one out of that if you'd like a tale for me. So how come you to be upon this road here, heading south, and where did you might be coming from?
Well, we popped out.
Do we want to disclose this information?
Why not?
Yes, we do.
You know, I do speak English just like you can, so
You could always
I
tell
can
the tale.
completely
whispered that.
understand what
I
you would be
whispered that to
saying.
him.
Oh.
Do we want to disclose?
No, I don't want
Yes.
you giving me nothing that you don't want to give, but remember, I'm a trader, and that means if you give me something good, I'll give you something good in return.
I
Abuela, can we talk to this man? Is he trustworthy?
And Monty looks, and his eyes open and they widen a little bit as he sees you pull out the skull. And he looks at the skull and he says, "By God, never thought I'd see the day."
Thank you. Thank you.
And Abuela says, "Yes, you can trust this man. And I'd like to tell you this in a riddle, but Dave hasn't finished making Abuela's riddles yet, so you're just going to have to hear me say it like this."
I say let's tell him the story of the hot air balloon.
I have
Go
to
ahead.
ask him a question.
I can't
first.
remember it.
I have to ask him.
Someone else.
Dear sir, you know my grandmother. How do you know my grandmother?
I believe I offered to trade, but you've got to share a story with me before I'll share one with you. Now, I'll only ask one more time. How do you
Sir.
all come to be on this road, and where are you coming from?
Okay, so let's tell him honestly.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, he notices there's a cat at the door, and somebody needs to let the cat in.
Well, we could summarize it by saying we appeared from one of the mighty hall of portal through to the top of the mountain, came down and discovered a fairy, a pixie, who was harmed by fire and tied up to a tree which was burned. The entire forest was leveled with fire, and it appeared to be scarred by some passing army. And when we attempted to rescue this pixie from her chains, we were set upon by zombies and had to defend ourselves. So we finally rescued the pixie from her chains, and we're taking her on the road to attempt to find a cure from the Fae Queen or whoever was the closest enchanted individual of high standing that could help us. When we were set upon yet again by a group of zombie elves that were undead and attempted to kill us. One of them contained an evil spirit which jumped from one member of our party to another member of the party, requiring us to render them unconscious and wrest the spirit from them using their own will. When finally we had finished this battle, we had still gotten no closer to attempting to cure the pixie. So we endeavored to take the pixie with us through the Hall of Portals yet again to find somewhere closer to the Queen of the Elves, who could help us, we hoped, with our plight, and hopefully save our pixie friend, but not only that, save us and help us with our quest to defeat the Iron Fist, or as
The Iron Cudgel.
as our friend would call him.
Okay, so do it again, but this time as a Shakespearean sonnet.
Okay.
Well, Monty says,
None of
it's
that was a lie.
it's not bad as far as a tale for a first-timer goes, but there's a couple of holes in your story what needs filling in. You say you was at a portal. What portal might this be? Now, I know you must have found the Hall of Fires, because that's what you'd be talking about, is the place between portals.
That we did.
What a portal you talking about that's had this fires around it? I ain't a heard of this, and there's no fires round here.
This is further south.
Do we have notes?
The army of the marching dead have come. The soldiering dead have come that far south, or that far north, that they have burned down a fairy forest, and it is quite the tragedy. If you were to go further south, you would see this has befallen this section of forest. It is burned down.
Celestia Vale portal.
Celestia Vale, yes.
He thinks to himself, and you hear him mumbling to himself, Celestia Vale. Oh, this is bad news. So you say, Celestia's Vale, very south end of the Feywood, Celestia's Vale
Yes.
be. Not many these days were even able to use the portals, much less have interest in them. I generally don't use them myself, as it doesn't help with my trading. But you come into the Celestia's Vale portal, and there was fires around it, you say.
The
This
forest
is
was
where this
burned.
pixie was you was a talking about?
Yes, that's the
Be
one.
that pixie you got wrapped up over there in that funny hide?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Well then,
Monty walks over and waits for you to open up to
I'll
look at
unwrap
the
her
pixie.
enough that she can be seen. and
Carefully.
Carefully avoid her biting my fingers.
Monty lays his big pack down on the ground horizontally and walks over and kneels down. And as you open up the burrito hide that you've got, the pixie, and he looks in for a few moments and intently gazes at the pixie, and you see a very sad look on his face, and he's like, "Oh, this is bad. Not can be done for her. This is bad, I say, and it's bad news you give. It's a sad, sad thing when they get bit like this. For there ain't no cure, you know. Many have tried. Even the queen herself of the Fae has tried. And there ain't no cure. There ain't no hope. Looks to me like she's a passing sometime in the next day or so. You know this means we're going to have to burn her. It's the only way to stop the ghouls. And it's a fate. It's a curse worse than anything.
Can we like at least shoot her before we burn her?
Oh, no.
Like and like.
Just gonna.
Sorry.
Just a quick one. So no
Like
glorious.
not
shooting
not
today.
burn alive.
Well,
No, she
kill
won't
her
be burned
before
alive. Yes.
she-
Yes.
Monty, hearing you talk about it, says, look, you know, it's probably best to let her pass in her own good time. As long as she's not in great pain, and it looks now that she's in such a deep, deep coma, it's not going to matter anyways. But as soon as she is no longer with us, then don't waste any time. Remember, you've only got hours before the curse begins to take hold, the final stage of the curse, and she prepares to rise again. And you don't want to fight one of these, believe me. You're forgetting the power they have. And in a pixie, it'll be great power indeed. I've had my fair share of seeing them, and I've had my fair share of burning them at the southern end. You don't want to do it. I know who you mean when you say the Iron Fist. And I've seen his armies, and I've seen the great horrible aberration himself riding on his skeletal war horse with his great metal claw hanging at his side, using it to be as the final executing blow more times than you can guess when we were at battle. But that's for another time. That was years ago. You know, we've been fighting this war against them now for nigh on more than 20 years. And before that, I came to this place from the other side. By the other side, of course, you know, I mean the eastern lands, not these western lands, but the eastern lands across the sea. You might have gathered from my accent that I ain't from around these western lands. So there. Now I've got most of your tale, but you say it was Celestia's Vale. How did you get up here? You used another portal? You probably come from Verdantis portal, didn't you?
That is correct.
Heading south?
Yes.
Yeah. And what you be thinking you're going to do now? What are you wanting? Where are you wanting to head?
Well, we wanted to consult with the Queen of the Elves and see if she could help us in our battle against the soldiering dead.
And the pixie had something that she wanted to give.
A
Yes,
mirror
a
to give
gift,
to
a mirror.
her.
Yeah.
And sir, if you wouldn't mind, as you're obviously a connoisseur of gifts or goods traded back and forth, can you identify any special prospects about this mirror for us?
Well, about the mirror, it's not going to be a trade. This is for the pixie and for the queen. And I'll tell you,
We're just asking.
there's a message in that mirror that only the Fae Queen can see. And
Thank
so
you.
I would say it's a good quest you have, and you should follow through on it. But beware. Tain't as easy to get into the Fae Wood as it once was, what with all of the problems and all of the undead about. There's a great, heavy, magical barrier runs along all the rivers that encompass the Feywood. You can get across it in some places, what be bridges, and you'll recognize one if you stay on this path, because eventually it does lead to one. You'll have to figure it out for yourself how to get across, and if you're okay and you're good'uns, and you do it the right way, you should have no trouble. But beware, there might be trouble between here and there. I can't say for sure. So yes, I would say continue on your quest. Now, before you go, you talk about identifying objects and things of this nature. Well, that sounds like more trading to me. And for this kind of trading, I think it's time that we had a proper place to do it. Monty walks over to his big pack that's laying on the ground, taps it with his staff, and he mumbles some words that you can't catch under your breath, and all of a sudden the entire pack floats up into the air and begins to move and roil and spin around, and within seconds, bloop, it becomes a big tent filled with wares.
Fun.
And it is Monty's trading tent on a banner on the top, Monte the Tinker. He walks around behind one of the barrels and stands there and says, "Now, what can I help you with?"
Wow.
And so,
Thank you for admitting us
As
to
you-
Monty's Hall.
why, if you look at Monty, and let's get him up on the screen
Let's
here
make a deal.
for you,
Indeed.
you will in fact see that in fact his last name is Yahl, Y-A-H-L, Yahl, Monty Yahl. And you're right about him wanting to make a deal for sure. He's always ready to make a deal. So, good old Monty, as we were talking to him, we're going to put him up on the screen and we are going to share him with you. You all can be what they call an observer of this here feller.
I just
There you
found that I have
go.
a small empty jug that can hold 12 ounces.
Sorry, Mr. DM, how did you bring, is that something we can bring up on our local screens?
Can you see Monty the Tinker now on your local screens? Can you click on
under
him?
No.
which, it's not the party.
Look
No, that's-
under
that's him.
NPCs.
I do see it now, yes.
If you go under NPCs, can you click up old Monty
Monte the Traveling
the
Tinker. There we
Traveling
go.
Tinker? You'll see his name is Monty Val, V-H-A-L. Sorry, well, I misspelled it or mispronounced it before. V-H-L. He's a traveling merchant. And you will see all the list of goods from his wild and wonderful little booth that he's got. And there's quite a list indeed. Just about anything a
Time to
proper
go
wilder might
shopping.
need who's a starting out on his adventures.
Look at all those.
Now, one of the things I might be suggesting to you, Monty says, is that you take some time to think about this, especially after your stream be done tonight. You can go home and log in on your own computers and look at all me wares so you can decide what you want to buy next week, because right now it's 10:07 and we're only going to be playing this game, you and me, for the next 20 minutes. So let's just get on with it if there's anything that you want to start out with. Now, I believe I had a request. The first request, and I'm going to take them in order, was from this madam across from me here with the glasses, holding up a skull. And I agreed to a tale for a tale. Now, the tale what you offered me, it's all right as it goes, tad incomplete, and I would like more of it, especially on the back end, before you got to that portal, how you even found the portals in the first place. But we don't have a lot of time tonight, at least, to make that discussion, so I'll let it go for now. And I think it's time that we talked about that skull that you're holding and the runes that are on it. For I've seen it before, and I know the person it was before it was a skull. I knew her in life.
Could you tell me about my grandmother?
She's your grandmother, is she? Well, I can't tell you how it went from who I knew to how it came to be like that, but I'd recognize her aura and her power anywhere. And it turns out that you be holding the skull of Marie Kingu, the voodoo sorceress. She's a famous midwife as well, and a wilder in her own right. I don't know much of what her life was back across the veil in Terra. Well, Earth as we all know it, but Terra as they call it here. What I know of her life here is that she was in a great battle against Iago.
Can we put it right on, just on that screen so that people can read it? Because this is pretty awesome. Thank you.
I'll read it out for you, and then you'll understand what it says here. This engraved skull is all that remains of a powerful voodoo sorceress named Marie Kingu. Marie Kingu, or Kingwe, probably is really the way it's pronounced, was a famous midwife, Capilata medicine woman, and voodoo priestess of Haiti. Marie Kingwe was a slave, officially active as a midwife on a plantation outside Cap Francais during the 1770s and 1780s. She was famous all over the colony as a voodoo priestess and medicine woman. She was a controversial figure and made friends as well as enemies among both slaves and slave owners, black, white, and free people of color. She was reported to the authorities in 1785 for quackery and accused of trying to encourage a slave rebellion, which, by the way, is all true history, but was hidden by her followers. The circumstances of her death are unknown, but her spirit is denied rest and cursed to occupy her skull for eternity.
Oh, hello, Abuelita.
Now, I will tell you one thing I do know for sure, and that is all of this stuff that happened in Terra has no record of what happened to her here in Era, and that is a long number of years indeed after she came to this world from that.
That's a whole nother story.
It is another tale, a very long one, with many twists and turns. And how she came to be back in Terra again, as what her remains are, I have no idea. But at least I can tell you who she was.
Thank you.
And why she has the power she has. I'll tell you also who cursed her to that skull, and it was Iago himself.
Nice. Thought so.
I don't think any of us are surprised by that.
Not really, no.
I'll tell you one thing more I know, too, of the story, one little bit of it, and that is what was remained of her remains, her skull, was stolen from Iago by her very own daughter. So what's happened there? Even her daughter's name I don't know, but I've heard tell that the skull was stolen, and now we know where it's gone and what its fate is.
Thank you.
There you go. That's a tale for a tale. And now, back to the trading. Do you want to trade tales or do you want to trade things?
Well,
I thought we were going to pick up the trading next week, or no?
Well, we got another 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys
so
pick. You can trade things or you can trade tales before we wrap it up at 10:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Tales tonight and then things next day?
well, could do, sure. Are you willing to tell the tale?
Absolutely.
All right.
Use your mic. Your mic's off to your side there.
Let me tell you, sir, how I ended up with this band of misfits.
Let's get a Josephine on the screen.
Oh,
there
sorry.
you go. All right.
There we are.
Tell us how you band. How come you to be with this band of misfits, Miss Josephine?
Once upon a time, a very long time ago, I was a poor girl in the wilderness, in a cabin in the woods. You okay? I love you. cabin in the woods with my mother and my elderly father and my several siblings. And father passed away, and mother couldn't keep us. She couldn't keep us. There was no way. We were struggling. So mother traded me to a family in hopes that they would raise me in a decent fashion in exchange for my labor. And that was not the case. They were very abusive. And I ended up escaping. And I learned how to scream. Wait. Grew up tall and she grew up right. Anyways, I learned how to fight. I learned how to hunt. I learned how to trap. I learned how to fend for myself, and I am an amazing marksman. Who would have known? Like, who normally figures that out when they're 9 years old? Just this girl. And I started trapping and selling the pelts, selling the
pelts.
Pelts.
The meat?
Just the pelts. Selling what I had hunted locally. And I ended up making a good amount of money, and I was able to bring it back home to my mother. And she was able to pay off that outstanding loan on the farm by the time I was 15 years old. And by the time I was 15 years old, I was already bored of the life. And so when Wild Buffalo Bill rolled through town and saw a snippy little sharpshooter and said, "Hey girl, you want a job?" I said, "Yes sir, I would like a job." And so that's where we went. And I mean, it all went downhill since then. I would like to say the few years that I had in Wild Bill's traveling road show were really awesome, and meeting my husband and having our daughter, it was the most amazing time. And I'm grateful that we had that. But they're no longer with us. And so F, the train company, who caused obviously their disrepair of their tracks is what made the train derail and kill my loved ones. And they've never taken any responsibility for it. I will never forgive the train company. I don't even care. Like, we're not even in that world anymore. But this is the burden that weighs on me every single day. I wake up in the morning and I think about this. And I think about my revenge. And I just hope one day I get back to Terra so that I can slit the throats of every railroad company man that exists. That's my story.
Nice.
Well, that's a story and no mistake. Well done, young miss. Well done. All right. Well, it's difficult for me to pick one out of so many, what with everything that's gone on, but let me tell you some tales of the Eastern lands. It's been many a year since I've been back there. But I'll tell you I'll tell you a good one that has to do with both the Eastern lands and the Western lands, and it's the tale of Erengath. Now, Erengath, they say, was a knight from the Crusades. And on his way back, and these are Crusades in Terra, you understand. It's on his way back that he never made it home. Somewhere, like you, like me, like so many others, he ended up stumbling through the veil on an accident, found himself in this world, all alone by himself, and was forced to make his way and find what he could. Now here's the thing, well, there's lots of Wylders. Why is this Erengath special? Here's why Erengath is special, because Erengath was the escort of the Fae Queen. And it might be good for you to know a little bit about the Fae Queen and about Erengath now that he has departed. And by departed, I don't mean that he's passed on. I mean that he's departed back across the veil.
Oh.
So when you run into the Fae Queen, if you're ever able to make it, you're going to find that she'd be very sad. For she is alone now. Erengath is gone and taken their daughters with him. He's done this at her request. For Iago is not the only danger in the world. Y'all don't know anything about the dangers of the Eastern lands, and as bad as Iago is, he can't hold a candle to the Scythian witch Huldra.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's why I left the Eastern lands. From what I hear now, she holds sway on all of the British Isle, save the Cursed Isle, what you used to know maybe as the Green Isle or the Emerald Isle. It's the only place she don't hold sway, and that is because no one holds sway there. It's an isle that is now timeless in its curse. But I left because of Huldra. Now, I'm straying in my story because my story was about Erengath. Erengath made his way like myself from the Eastern Islands to the Western lands. And it's a long story with many little details, but eventually he met the Queen of the Fae, and the two fell in love. And you know, they had 5 little girls together. They lived many years happily together until one day word came that Huldra knew where they were. And Huldra's own bastard son, Gwildeni. Gwildeni is one of 2 evil, well, I shouldn't say they're both evil. I don't know much about his brother. But Gwildeni is definitely the evil one, raised by Huldra herself, resurrected as a baby and raised by Huldra herself. And word is that Gwildeni, word that reached the Fae Queen is that Gwildeni has made a pact with the Aesir Vikings. And he is seeking everywhere, seeking out the Fae Queen and her daughters. He seeks to put an end to those daughters before the prophecy that he holds to true can come to pass. And so Erengath has gone away with those girls, back where they can never be harmed, back across the veil to Terra. And the Fae Queen now sits on her throne alone.
Excuse me, sir, what was the prophecy?
Oh, the prophecy was that somewhere down the road, someone would be born, and that child would ultimately be the death of Gwildeni, and ultimately the downfall and death of Huldra herself. So Gwildeni tries now to prevent that prophecy from happening, because it's not known who that child will be born to, but they do know it's the Fae Queen's lineage, and it is one of her 5 little girls.
Well, how long? Sorry, sir. How long ago was this? How many years?
Oh, Erengeth has only departed in the last 2 years, 3, 5. It's hard to reckon between time here in this world compared to Earth. You know, things move strangely in this world. On Earth, you could come from there to here. You could spend a decade here, go back, and it seems like no time has passed at all.
Did he depart to Terra, or did he just like skip across portals?
No, he's departed through a veil, is what I've heard. For there's no place safe enough here on Era. Not with the powers that Haldra and Guldenai both have been able to amass. So while you may be on a quest against Iago, there are other battles happening in the world and other stories going on that are separate from this one. And the story of Erengeth is that he has gone back to Earth in a different time than the one he departed, from what I hear. Who knows, maybe you all even passed him someplace while you were there and he is there with his 5 little girls.
Do you know the names of the 5 little girls?
I don't know any of their names, no. I have never heard of any of them. I believe one might be... No, but I'd be guessing. I'd just be guessing. I don't know if I ever heard those names spoke aloud. Let me think on it for a day and I'll see if I can remember. Because I don't want to misspeak about the Fae Queen's girls.
So, my good friend, are you heading towards the Queen of the Elves?
No, I'm heading north now.
Okay.
I'm heading north. I will not be using Verdantis. I never use the portals. I'll be heading north around Verdantis and up to the northwest. I might make a little venture off to the west and stop to see the Chohokians. You know, the Chohokians, they're fine moonshine makers, the Chohokians, and I'm a little partial to that. Dwarven whiskey is well enough, you know, and so is the beautiful elven liqueurs, but Chohokian moonshine, that's got to be the biggest kick of them all. So I might go and stock up on a few jugs. Have you ever tasted it? I might have one last jug around here before I restock. I'll see if I can find it, and maybe we'll have a swig on me tonight.
I would not tell you no.
So I might go to the Chohokians, but then I'll be swinging up to the northeast. And I'll head on to a couple of other settlements that I want to trade at today.
Can I ask you a question? It's about our Pixie, and when her time comes, what is the best way to burn her?
Well, you want to make sure it's a fire big enough that no remains will be there. Nothing but ash, maybe a bit of bone, but nothing that could ever be used to resurrect her.
Freaking fireball. Fireball.
She's a wee bundle, so it's going to be easier to burn her up than it is a full-grown person. But I'd say a bonfire. Now, mind you, sometimes it's not safe to be making a bonfire in this country. So you keep well a vigil if you're going to do it. And I might be willing to stay around while you've done so, just to help you out in case there's a problem. For
That
one
would
extra...
be wonderful.
One extra set of eyes and one extra set of fists is not necessarily a bad thing. I think I might owe it to the Fae Queen herself, as a matter of fact, for she'd been good to me over the years.
Would a magical fire be a better solution than a bonfire?
Only if it could consume her whole body.
Okay, so I have a spell that'll consume a 5-foot square that I can hold in one place for a minute.
I'd say
we're
that's
already
not enough.
planning her funeral, and she's
We could
not
use
even
that
dead.
as the starter, but
I'd
build a
say
bonfire
you're
fire and use
it's
that
like
to
the
start
most
it.
morbid thing ever.
It may be, but it's
you're going to need a
better-
pyre.
it's
You're going to
better to
need
know
a
what we need to
funeral
do.
pyre.
Right.
I know, it's just heartbreaking.
I know.
That's really the only way to do it. And remember, you'll be doing her an honor to do this for her the right way, rather than leave her laying on the battlefield like so many of her own friends and family. They've laid on the battlefield until they themselves have risen, and now they fight for the other side.
I will personally sing her to honor her spirit as she passes.
I will pray for her, and I don't even pray.
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you what I would suggest then. Why don't we hold a vigil tonight for her until her passing is done, and then we can resume with the trading and the other stuff. This will give us a chance for you folk to get your thoughts together about what's going to happen as far as the funeral pyre. So that's the end of what
Really
Monty
hard.
suggests to you. And
Worse than bear, I swear.
Monty suggests to you that you hold a vigil tonight until she passes, and then it'll give you time to prepare the funeral pyre. The other thing is that he thinks, in honor of her vigil, in honor of the Fae Queen, that after that's done, then you can go back to the regular business of trading. This will give you the practical ability this week. You can all log in from your own computers.
Yep.
Right? If you need help with that, let me know and I'll try and help you send you the information. But you should be able to log in from your own computers at home.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can look right at Monty's monstrously long lists of goodies.
Yeah, it's big.
It looked huge. It was great.
One of the big benefits of meeting Monty is that all those items are identified. There are no mystery items there.
Right.
And
So
you've already just said earlier today and last week that we've got some shit we got to get rid of. So
it'll help you get rid of some
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah. And we do have a lot of treasure right now.
You might want to think about and write down what questions you want to ask Monty while you have still got him.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to stick
He's
around
a
forever
wealth of
once
information and goods.
Yeah.
once the
Yeah.
trading's done. He'll help you out, but then he'll be on his way.
Hmm.
So ask whatever questions about the world you want to ask. He'll be the one to answer you. And he'll want to trade in return. So think about what you want to give as far as answers.
Because one of the things that I want to figure out is how do we get an in with the giants of the sky and the mountains? How do we figure out how to deal with them, how to do commerce with them, how to maybe even convince them to help us with our battle? Because this is their world. And if the soldiering dead are nothing but
It
an
is and it
annoyance to them,
isn't. They don't really give a crap that much about what's happening on the land
right.
because they are in the sky. So anything could be happening down here.
But then the Viking giants of the mountains, they could be convinced, I'm sure, because eventually the soldiering dead will come to them and start to annoy the shit out of them.
Viking giants of the mountains, which mountains? Because there was one mountain where they are terrible and they slave people.
Yeah, the Aesir mountain range
Aesir
is home
mountain
to the Aesir Vikings.
Yeah.
They're the slavers. And then the Vanir mountain range, and these are whole ranges,
Yeah.
is home to the Vanir Vikings, who are traders.
That's why I said one.
Traders. They trade.
Yeah, and I mean,
Traders
we
as
can-
opposed to slave traders.
And if we can work with them, maybe they would help us, because by then we should have acquired quite a bit of wealth and influence. If we
Now
can
they are on the.
influence-
Remember, they are on the other side of the continent from you right now.
Yeah, that's true. But then
I mean,
we also have
how much is quite a bit of wealth? We've got a handful of coins and gems and stuff,
We've got
basically.
some other bits of treasure and
But in comparison, like, we don't even know what's like. If we walk up to a giant and say, "Hey, I've got these 12 gems," he'll maybe laugh at us.
we do have air-like clusters.
Oh,
Quite a few of
right.
them.
Not quite.
Three. You
Three
have
of them. We got
Three.
3 air-like clusters, my friend.
yes,
Enough to fly a couple ships.
Actually,
for which
our,
I paid a price.
yes,
Yes, you did.
our friend has 3 aerolite clusters. We're just
Okay,
tagging along.
Fine, yeah. His bride
That's
price.
part of his dowry. Yes, his bride price.
Something to keep in mind is that as far as the crafting goes, right now you're just doing like little basic level 1 crafting as you start out at level 5. When you get into more and more high level crafting, especially anything magical, one of the ingredients that it will certainly require is going to be aerolite gems for the magical endowment. Those aerolite gems will then be consumed. So it is the equivalent of when a wizard has to pay gold for his spells, that kind of thing, right? So you're going to have to make decisions about what you can afford. I mean, even with Monte's goods, there's a lot of great stuff there, and there's, you know, how much are you gonna of your gems are you gonna spend on his stuff? So think about it all. Let me
Random
know.
factoid. I was looking around today and I realized none of us at this table have brown eyes.
Mine are hazel.
Random factoid.
Mine are mostly brown.
See, look, they're
no,
hazel.
Dave's are
Mine are probably the brownest,
You're
although they
bronze.
get a little bit
You've got
green
hazel.
sometimes.
You've got hazel.
Yeah.
You've got hazel. What the heck? 3 hazel eyes?
Yeah.
and I'm blue
You're blue. He's blue. I'm gray,
sometimes.
except for when I cry, and then I'm green.
Hey, poofy,
There you
poofy cry, guys.
Minor bloodshot.
But it's
All
not
right.
weird. None of us have brown eyes.
Any last minute questions for the game master before we cut off the stream and hang it up for tonight?
I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched us tonight.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
the
very
amount
much.
that you've contributed ideas, and basically you've been here playing with us, and that's just amazing. So can I big hand to you guys?
Thank you. We appreciate all of our viewers. It actually means so much to us when
Yeah.
you guys don't see this, but
That's
when we're
right.
off camera, we'll start talking and be like, "Oh, blah 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 started talking, and blah 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 started talking, and they said this, and they said that, and this person said this from last week, and this person said that other thing from the other week," and we pay attention to it all. We really appreciate you guys.
Homework for the viewers at home based on what Josephine Smith shared about her backstory is that her character is based on Annie Oakley. And a lot of Annie Oakley's real life was quite amazing. So check that out, because a lot of the history is based on that. The whole idea behind this game is to take a little bit of real life history that most people don't know and mix it in. For example, the whole idea of the skull that up to now has been Abuela Mala, now we know is the skull of Maria Kingwe, who was a real person.
Yeah. She's an American Horror Story, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's lots of those little Easter eggs that I have made over the years building
Let's
this
give
game.
our games master a big hand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, babe. Every week, it never ceases to amaze me, your creativity and your vibrancy in storytelling. And it's such a pleasure. It's such a gift to be sitting here with you.
Well, you
So
guys
thank you.
don't know it in watching this, but the number of hours that Dave puts in behind the scenes
Obsession.
to create
It's
all
absolutely
of this.
believable.
Obsession level work. It's
you know.
awesome. And Sugarberry says, "Oh, New Orleans, yes, that's where our
New Orleans.
Madame Lavinia
Nolans.
from Nowlands.
Nolans.
Yeah.
That's also where the ancestry of Raven Alexium, also known as Alexander Moulin, is from. Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
Therefore, I am not.
Yeah. Okay, let's pack it in. We're gonna pack it in. Thanks everyone. We
Thank you
will
so
be
much.
not
Thanks, Dave.
playing next week. Janice and I are traveling. We are away. The week after that is still, I think, kind of up for grabs. I'm going to look really quickly at the schedules.
June the something 7th. By then,
By the way, Cora turned 14 yesterday. So
Mm.
Happy birthday,
if-
Cora.
if she's watching, which I doubt she is because she's way too cool to be watching. Happy birthday, baby girl. I love you.
Yeah, that's Amanda's second oldest daughter, youngest daughter, Cora.
And my granddaughter.
Yes. Okay, so the 5th, which is next, but the 12th after that, I think is okay. I think the 12th is okay, and I think we're going to shoot for that for sure to play. I'm doing one last check out for gigs. Yeah, the 12th is okay so far for us. So hopefully we'll see everybody there. It just depends on everybody's schedule. Thanks again, folks. Everybody have a good night.
Thanks for coming.
Good night.
Good night.